Are you sure you guys don't know each other, yeah?
I don't know.
No,
him,
we have
no.
no. I've never seen him before.
Have you guys been here before, yeah?
I've never been here.
Nope.
No.
So let me ask you this straight up. Are you here to troll, learn, or debate?
No. We want to learn.
I'm trying. I believe the Earth is round, but like I want to hear the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we can talk about it. You cool? So one more thing, I have your guys' word, right? That you're not gonna troll, spam,
No.
call people
Yeah.
names.
Of course.
No.
Of
Right,
course.
'cause you're
We
gonna
wouldn't
be
call
banned
anyone
immediately.
names.
Cool, bro. We're gonna make this VC real short, let you go down, but dude, if you start trolling, spamming, server banned immediately. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
good.
bro.
Sounds good.
Just before you go down the live stream, read the welcome and the rules.
Of course.
You can go down the live stream. You'll have a VC verified in a few minutes. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So just read the rules and go down the live stream, guys.
Alrighty.
All right.
So read the rules.
Yeah, read the rules and welcome. You know, make sure you follow the
Okay.
rules, dude. Like I said, like you gave me a word, no trolling, spamming, calling people names and shit like that.
Okay.
And,
I think we
come
should
down.
do a pledge. I think we should do a pledge. What about you, Nembrick? What do you think?
A pledge.
Should we do
What
a
kind of
pledge? Yeah, a pledge, like a pledge of allegiance. But we have to
What
pledge
am I
who we want
pledging?
personally.
Like,
I pledge that I will not English, please. We cannot monitor foreign languages
Yo,
for rule breaking,
Andrew, mute
unfortunately.
both of these guys.
And
now.
please keep it.
Mute both of them. We're done.
no.
What do we do?
I don't know him,
Trying.
bro. I don't even know.
What do
You
we
go
do?
to the live stream, bro. You
We
go
didn't
to
even
the
do
live stream
anything.
down.
Okay, go to the live stream. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few trolls up there.
Oh wait, hello.
Sorry.
And now he's in the live stream. Sorry, y'all. I gotta sell this shit.
Hey people, Earth is flat.
Hey, what's up, Chucky? You can talk to Rue for a minute. I'm busy for a moment now. We were talking about gyroscopes, so if you want to continue the conversation.
I heard about gyroscopes. I don't know much about it, to be honest. I just know the basics, the
No big deal,
fundamentals
bro.
of.
You guys talk whatever, bro. Whatever you want to talk. Just,
Oh, okay.
So we don't have a dead
But you
air. You
wanna?
guys keep talking flat earth, bro.
All right.
So I'm just gonna put it on.
Hey, mic check.
Yeah, good.
Here we go.
Was there somebody that was on the fence in here?
Yo, hello.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you. I have no idea who that was. I have no idea. I just joined here because someone told me that you have like a 24/7 YouTube channel, so I checked it out, and then I just wanted to. I'm honestly curious because I'm hearing a lot about like flat Earth nowadays. So.
All right, sounds good, bro. So what did you think? What did you think about flat Earth? Like, what's your view right now? What do you see when you think flat Earth? What do you think?
Okay, so I don't think the Earth is flat. I'm being honest. I mean, like I walk outside and it's flat, but like I don't see that the Earth is. You know what I'm saying?
And how about this? You never felt the Earth move in your entire life. Is that true?
I mean, unless you like experience an earthquake, no. Because...
Exactly. So that's the most basic logical axiom, dude. You never felt the Earth move. Now tell me again, how fast is the Earth spinning and flying through this infinite vacuum? And then with the whole cosmos and universe and everything that you believe in? Just tell me the vectors and speeds of this Earth that you believe in, please.
Well, I mean, if the Earth is moving, aren't we moving with the Earth as well?
I just asked you, how fast is the Earth? You believe that the Earth is spinning and flying through this infinite vacuum, right? So just tell me the vectors and speeds, please.
Yeah, I don't know it off the top of my head. I mean, I can do a quick.
I'll tell you like this: it's 1,000 miles at the equator, right? 67,000 miles an hour through some infinite vacuum, right? Is that what you believe, bro?
I mean, I believe that we're, rotating around the sun and that the universe is ever expanding, right? Like, I believe that.
So that's what I just told you. 67,000 miles around the sun. That's how fast you're flying while spinning at the same time. And that whole solar system, 500,000 miles an hour. And there's 4 more vectors, dude. And you believe all that shit? You didn't even know how fast. You don't even know all the vectors. That's claimed. But you believe it all, right? Just because the science says so? Is that the case?
Well, I mean, I typically, believe science with a lot of stuff, right? Like, science taught me, like, the stove is hot, and then I touch the stove, and then I burn myself, right?
So science doesn't have to tell you that the stove is hot. You have senses, bro. So when you touch the hot stove, your hand just jumps back because your senses told you it's hot. When you come to the cliff and you see a fucking abyss, do you jump or do you trust your eyes that tell you there's a fucking abyss? Don't jump.
I mean, some people do jump, though, like, to be fair, but...
So dude...
But I get what you're saying.
Is the fire hot for all of us? Your senses tell you that, right? Water's wet, right? Is water wet? Okay. In the same way, Earth is stationary and it's flat.
Okay.
So what you believe doesn't matter, bro. You know?
So let me ask you this, okay?
Let's talk about things that you know. Is there anything you know about this globe in vacuum? A single fact or something in physics that supports it or a natural law, anything.
Okay, so if you walk a straight line, right?
And you start your sentence with if, that's already a logical fallacy, my dude. I asked you, do you know anything in physics or natural laws or something that we experience or something that's logical that supports us living on a spinning globe? Don't start your sentence with if. It's a logical fallacy, my dude.
I walk a
if I have a brain, I'm smart. Oh yeah, I'm smart.
Okay, I walk
sorry.
I walk a direction in a straight line, I'm going to travel around the globe.
You're talking hypothetical nonsense. How the fuck are you going to walk in a straight line on a globe? There's no straight lines on a globe.
Okay, let me ask you this.
A straight line on a globe, dude. Did you fail geometry in the 1st grade, dude? Show me a straight line on a globe.
I walk a curved line around the globe. How about that?
So now you walk the curved line. So are you trolling right now, dude?
Well, how would I be?
How the fuck are you gonna walk the curved line now? What are you talking about? So you walk 20,000 miles and now you're upside down from where you started? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, there's gravity, right? That keeps all of us grounded, right?
What do you know about gravity? What is gravity?
It's pulls smaller masses towards a bigger mass, right?
Really? Where did you learn that?
I don't know, like 5th grade science, probably.
You say so? You just like somebody told you something when you were in the 5th grade, and you.
Okay. Listen. I don't even have to
ask yourself for the proof of that teacher told you.
Okay, here's my proof. I lift my phone up and I drop it, and then it hits the ground.
And what is that proof for?
It proves that like us objects, we go towards the ground.
Did you ever hear of relative density?
No. If
you care, if you're not gonna fidget. You want to know what it is? It's simple, dude. You probably learned this in the 1st grade. Things that are denser than the medium dense around it go down. Things that are less dense or more buoyant go up.
Okay. So like you're
So
saying
why
like
is
they're
steam
like
going up? Why is gravity not pulling steam, but at the same time pulling trillions of gallons of oceans to stick to a spinning globe?
But how come
Does that make any sense, dude?
how come steam doesn't go into space then if there's no gravity?
What space? What you believe in space, dude?
Well, I mean, so
You're
what do you?
breathing air. Listen, you're breathing pressurized air here on Earth, but you believe the sky is vacuum? What do you know about thermodynamics, dude? Do you know that high pressure always goes
I
to low
failed
pressure?
my thermodynamics college class. Okay, I don't know.
That's basic physics, bro. These are natural laws. This is beyond physics. Physics explain natural laws. These are natural laws, dude. It cannot be violated.
Can
You
you
live in a
explain to me where you're
pressurized
getting this
environment.
information from? I'd really like to know. I like where you're getting this information from. I'm very curious.
This is a natural law. Entropy is a natural law. There is no pressure without the container. Just look at the definition for gas pressure.
Okay, but where are
It's
you
the
getting
force that molecules of gas exert on the container. If you do not have a container, you cannot live, dude. We could not live in a vacuum.
So
You understand that?
so I have a question for you, if you don't mind me asking. So
Sure,
like,
bro.
if you take a plane, like an airplane, right, from
Why
California,
is airplane called airplane? Do you know what word plane stands for?
I mean, there's all kinds.
What does plane stand for?
What do you think?
Well, there's airplanes. There's
Is it, is it a curve or is it horizontally extended surface? Or is it curved? Plane.
planes are usually flat, right?
Exactly, bro. So go ahead. What was your question?
So my question is, right, like you hop in an airplane, right, and then you go to Asia, from California to Asia, right? And then you keep going that direction. Eventually you're going to get back to the same spot if you're on the same horizontal, position, right?
You won't, because you're just talking hypothetical. You've never experienced this in your life, dude.
But
Have you ever
Every time you go on
experienced
an airplane, every time you go on an airplane, you go up, airplane goes on a certain altitude, right? And travels straight on level to wherever you're going. Before landing, you put your seatbelts back on and you land. All airplanes travel straight line, dude, and on level. They use gyroscopes.
I see.
So is there an end to this flat Earth? Like, can I fall off the Earth somewhere?
Yeah, can we fall off the
That's a common troll question. I'm gonna explain that to you with basic physics.
Okay.
All bodies of water must be contained. It goes from the cup of coffee that you hold in your hand to a bathtub to a lake, pond, seas, and oceans. All bodies of water must be contained and the surface is level. You understand?
Yeah, we
You
understand.
know what the word level means, right?
Yeah, so it's contained, right? Because if
Exactly.
you put like water in
But
a
how
cup,
is it contained? How is it contained?
What do you mean? How is it
like
contained?
what's
Like,
what's the container? Like what's the
Yeah,
edges?
You don't know.
Oh my
Listen,
God, is that the
there is
real
no
daddy, though?
independent
Yeah.
exploration
Oh my
beyond
God,
60th
sorry
parallel
for that.
south.
Stop.
There's Antarctic Treaty, military protects everything beyond 60th parallel. No independent exploration to Antarctica. You guys understand this, right? It's all military.
Yeah, I understand.
It is the longest standing treaty. 60 years, 50 plus nations. No independent travel past 60th parallel south. We don't know what's there. Ice wall. There's a lot of pictures and photos and videos of ice wall, but it's all hypothetical. We do not know because we cannot verify that.
Are you? What's stopping me from just taking a ship and then going?
Why don't you go and try? People have
could-
died. People have died. Military stops them. So instead of asking, why don't you jump on a ship and go try it?
Okay.
Or find out why you can't go. Go Google Antarctic Treaty and see why you can't go. Don't
Okay.
ask me, bro. I'm just telling you the basic facts of physics. All bodies of water must be contained and surface is level.
So what about the North Pole? Is that the same thing?
Same thing, bro. You I don't know, get out there and see how far you can go.
I mean, but what about like the left and
I
right?
don't know. These are the questions that I don't know. There's so much shit that we don't know, bro. And that's what scares most Globers or people who are in the belief system. Not knowing and mystery literally scares the shit out of them, dude.
What was the
That's
treaty
why
you were
they come
talking
here
about so I
trolling
can
them.
research it?
Excuse me?
What was the treaty you were talking about so I can research that?
Antarctic Treaty.
So my question is, okay, so we got the
You
top.
guys are gonna get a lot better information here. You're gonna get a real data here if you get VC verified and if you don't troll. Because online, dude, it's all fucking censored. It's all controlled.
Isn't
They're giving
the
you fake information, bro. When you search for flat Earth on internet, first 300 searches is gonna be all fake shit to make you say, "Holy shit, this is stupid. Look at these people's faces. They're retards. Look what they're talking about. Fucking flat Earth on top of the turtle's back. They're retards. Ha ha ha. Let's go troll them. Let's talk stupid shit about them." And when they
but
come here, they
isn't
fucking
that
melt like snowflakes. Go ahead, bro.
isn't the treaty just so it says Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. It doesn't talk about the flat
For
Earth.
peaceful I know. Like, see what I mean? Like, that's your search, bro. You go on Google and you think you've researched something. It's all censored and controlled. All the information that gets to your
Okay.
eyes and ears is prepared for you, dude. You have to
I
understand
need to
that. You have
process
to
this.
engage
Okay.
your critical thinking, bro. And you can get a lot of information here, the good data, when you're VC verified. And you already guys promised me you're not a fucking trolls, but then you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
fucking laughing in my face and all this stupid shit. That's
You were
not cool,
laughing?
man. Yeah, man. When we just started talking like 20 minutes ago, you guys were like fucking laughing. They're like, "Hey, let's pledge, let's this."
Oh, that was him. He wanted to do the pledge.
All
I
right,
wasn't a
cool.
part of that. I thought it was funny, but like I had no
All
idea
right,
what he was talking about.
we're cool.
Yeah.
We're cool. You guys you sound like cool people, dude. Like, I can tell you were
Thanks.
fucking around a little bit, but now you're like, okay, there's something to this. You know?
Hey, just a question. Where are you getting this information from? Like the real information? Where are you
I've been
getting that?
researching this for past 5 years, bro. So trust me, dude. Up until age of 38, I was just like you, my dude, walking around believing I'm fucking spinning on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rockets flying through space. And then my mind was fucking blown, dude. With the
Mhm.
simple fact when somebody mentioned the water is level, I said, what? What the dude? These are questions that I had my whole life, dude. And whenever I ask someone, when I talk to someone with some bullshit explanation, oh, gravity, oh, don't think about it, don't think about it. You know how many people told me don't fucking think about it, dude?
Well, wouldn't you think that though the water is flat because it's less dense than air, right? Is that it? Couldn't that be a reason why it's level 2?
The level has nothing to do with the density, dude. It's all about the container. Like the surface of water, these are liquid dynamics. Level surface of water is always going to be level. You know, it's going to take the shape
Are
of
you
the
one of those
container
people who
that you
thinks
pour it in.
do you think water is wet? Just a
Like this,
question.
dude. Fire's hot, water's wet, earth is
It's water
stationary,
wet.
and it's flat. I just told you.
I'm sorry,
What
what
do
did
you
you say?
think? I said
I
fire's hot, water's wet, earth is stationary, and it's flat. So water is wet. I mean, is this a troll question or are you fucking for real?
No, I'm not trolling. I'm genuine. There's a genuine like consensus on it that people
Okay,
argue
so what do you
about.
think?
I'm
Is
curious.
water wet, bro? Come on, like.
I mean, I think that you can't add value to something that already has. You can't add value to water when it's already water. So you can't. So I don't think water is wet.
So I have another question too. Like, okay,
Sure.
so we understand like so do flat earthers like yourself? Do you believe that like the Earth is square, or like what shape do you think it is?
See, that already sounds like a troll question, dude. Like, and why are you asking
We're,
me about my beliefs and about flat earthers? Why are you worried about
we
flat
just want to
earthers?
learn. That's it. We
I'm
just
trying.
want to
I
learn.
have
How
right.
can that be a logical question of an intelligent person, dude? Do I believe it's a fucking square? Are you for real, man? Like, just like, was that a serious question?
Honestly, I mean, I thought it was a good question, to be honest.
So I just told you 5 minutes ago that all bodies of water must be contained and that the surface is level. Now you're asking me if the Earth is a fucking square?
So you're
Where is
saying,
level in a
so
square?
you're saying it could be like a disc is like what you're saying, like
Yeah.
No, disc is just a fucking like that if you're looking at it from this non-existent place called space.
I have a question.
There
If the
is no
Earth is
widow.
flat,
Dude,
why
I
are
told
all
you.
the other? I have a question. If the Earth is flat, why are all the other planets circles?
Okay, is circle a sphere?
Yeah.
So, no, see, you're wrong. You failed geometry, dude. Circle is not a sphere.
Okay.
Circle is not a sphere. So even some stars that are circles, they're still not spheres. They're just circles of light.
I see.
All it is. They're not planets. They're not physical terra firma bodies somewhere out there and millions of light years away, dude. That makes no fucking sense, bro. They're just little lights. There's no parallax between stars. Some twinkle, some shine, but they're all just little lights. They rotate every night above our heads around the stationary star that's called Polaris. That's above the North Pole. That's the only stationary star in our sky. The rest are just rotating in perfect circles.
Awesome.
And how can they have any relation? How can lights in the sky have any relation with the ground that you walk on?
You're
You
right.
understand? That, you know? So again, going back to Cube and all that shit, guys, like, you know, like, I mean, like,
You're right. That was very
conversation.
idiotic. That was very idiotic of us, and I'm sorry. We apologize.
Yeah, no, all right, we're good, bro. Sasha, what's up, brother, man? What you doing, dude?
Well, nobody's speaking on. I came here
Yeah.
to see what is going on.
These guys sound cool, yo. They had some funny
So-
questions,
so-
but like they don't, you know. I hope they're not trolls, man. You know, because like I said, out of hundreds of people that come through here, do like very few are intelligent enough to figure out there's something going on
Well,
for real. And
Well, okay, so like I have another question. So like I get the plane stuff, right? Like you go up in the plane, you don't really know, like you just trust the pilot, right? Unless you fly yourself, right?
well, you telling me you never looked out the window, dude?
Right, but what I'm saying is
So
like
what did you see? Like, what did you see when you looked out the window? Don't tell me like is it a conspiracy
mountains.
theory or is it flat as can be?
No, horizon. When you see horizon from airplane, how it looks. I'm looking every time when I'm flying.
Right. I mean, like don't you see the you do like if you don't you see like a little curve if you're high enough?
No,
Never.
Nope.
Never.
You never
I've been
see
on
a
a plane
curve.
like 50 times, dude.
No,
I go to
maybe
Europe.
maybe something with windows, but if I look really, really good, never. Never ever.
So like what if you take like okay,
But
over
dude, if the curve was there, wouldn't the airplane eventually go where the curve is, and wouldn't he eventually have to dip his nose down to fly down?
Well, I
if
mean,
the
you
fucking
wouldn't
curve
feel
was there?
that though, right? Like
Yes, you will feel that for
What
sure.
do you mean you wouldn't feel that?
you know,
You will.
We just went over how airplane flies over the plane. They're flying level using gyroscope. So now you're telling me the airplane is dipping his nose down to fly around the globe?
well,
That doesn't
when
happen,
it
dude.
goes up, it puts
have-
this thing up, you know.
We have footage. We have footage of pilots, tons of pilots saying there's no Earth is not a globe. We fly over a level plane.
You
You
can
guys can't
count.
see that until you VC verify. When you get VC verified, you're gonna have all this data available to you, dude.
I have a question. Where's the data coming from? Like the real data? That's just out of my curiosity.
From reality.
Where's
From
the reality?
Like everywhere around you, dude.
Okay.
What is
Remember
reality?
the first thing?
Come
Remember
on.
the first thing that we went over? You all experience motionless Earth since the day you were born, and you've never seen curvature in your entire life anywhere. All you see is contained bodies of water everywhere, right? So that's where
Right.
the data comes from, dude.
Like
Okay.
so I'm on.
We
Look,
have lasers. We have scientific tests. We have all kinds of shit, dude.
You have dimensions, man. Listen, it's 40,000 kilometers. It's 25,000 miles. The radius is almost 4,000 miles. They are saying, and then we went out to the beach and to see where is dropping the earth, you know, and there is no drop because on 10 miles, on 20 miles, on 30 miles, on 40 miles, it must be drop, you know, but there is no drop in reality.
Hey, Sasha,
You
where are you
can.
from, by the way? You have a very curious accent. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm from Croatia.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
blooded.
Awesome.
Blood is we were from the same country in a year, but it's destroyed.
I'm from Bosnia.
so
Yo, so
wait.
listen.
So how does GPS work if the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
Ground positioning system, right? Ground
But this
positioning. You literally are using things on the ground.
And then what about like satellites and stuff?
Yeah. Like
There's
You-
no such thing, bro.
I can
There's
give
no
you
hard
links that tell you
satellites.
about 98% of the world internet and connection is made by cables.
Can
Even
I have
transatlantics,
those
like
links? Can I
sure,
have
you
those
can
links?
literally you can Google it right now.
Okay.
How is most of the internet transferred from Europe to the US? And you'll see that it's with those cables under the sea. It's literally somewhere about 95%.
You mean satellites out of space?
Yeah, there is no outer space.
Wait,
There is no other space.
so you don't believe in space at all?
It violates the
No,
second law of
there is
thermodynamics.
We
It cannot
already
exist.
went over
no,
this, bro.
no space.
You're
Space is
breathing.
there. When you look up, everywhere is space. But the vacuum of the space, what they are telling us, that low pressure medium.
There is no
That-
outer space. There is
Yeah.
nothing out there, bro. We are contained. We live in contained environment.
But what's out of the?
We don't know, even if there is. We do not know. We are contained. Nobody's been out.
So like when we watch,
Everything about space that you ever learned, all the moon landing, all the NASA probes, it's all fake shit. Computer generated nonsense. Cartoon balls in a fantasy land. Not real.
If you want to believe or not to believe, the only one beautiful scientific citation it's saying this: you cannot.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yo, no Breck.
Yeah.
That's Z. So you guys, you're gonna have VC verified soon, dude. We can go down a live stream and talk.
Okay.
Like you gave me your word, bro. Right?
You're
No
right. Yeah, I
trolling,
mean, I'm gonna
no
talk
that
just
shit.
like this. If
Nah, you already, yeah, dude. I can tell you sound
Okay.
cool, bro. And the other guy is cool too, yo. He was a little funny before, but whatever.
Okay.
We're cool, man.
So I watched like Elon Musk, right, and those
All
billionaires.
fake shit, bro. All fake shit.
Them
Musk
going
is a
up and
fraud.
Yeah, Nubrak, go right now on YouTube and type in SpaceX glitch in the live stream. Literally do it right now,
Wait.
and you'll find videos.
And where do I go?
I can wait. I'll look it for you. I'll do the thing. Hold up. 10 seconds. Whatever. I just got the first one. Whatever. The bloody text. Okay, here. Can you see the voice checking text?
Voice checking.
I just
this video.
Yeah, just look at it. It's relevant what the guys are just muted. You just want to see the video.
Okay, is there any part in this video that I
Go
want to
about
see?
6 minutes. Just go at 6 minutes.
Can I get verified too?
Is this the guy like floating in his car?
Yeah, it's the guy floating his car. Go at 6 minutes and 15 seconds. You'll see it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Well, I
You'll
mean,
get
Andrew,
VC, bro.
Andrew,
Yeah,
I can
just-
see the
just
green
remember-
screen
yo, Sasha,
immediately.
1 second, bro.
Well, I mean,
Sorry,
yeah,
bro.
this looks fake. I mean, this looks pretty fake. If I'm being honest.
Yes, it
Number,
is.
can I have the
Yo,
video?
It's
Number?
all fake as can be, bro.
I want to get verified too. Can I see the video?
Well,
It's in.
in the
it's in the
voice.
Yo,
voice checking.
that's Z. So
That's
just remember,
verification.
you gave me the word, bro. Right? No trolling, spamming.
No,
You
I'm not
gave-
trolling. I'm just curious.
Alright.
Like where I wanted to get
Cool.
verified.
You got it, bro. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
In a sense, you can find out informations, man. Nobody, if you want to do some shit, they will ban you. But that's the point, But if you want to,
I believe like this. Yeah, this looks fake as hell. I'm with you on this one. But I'm saying, like, what about like the?
How about you show us something that did you ever see something that you think is real?
Well, I mean, I watched on TV like those billionaires. They went into space, and then they lost gravity in the spaceship.
We have videos we have links for that too. We'll show you that too, bro.
Oh,
It's
really?
all fake shit, dude.
Yeah.
Horizon is
Do you
level.
want-
Horizon is horizontal, bro. And horizon is not a physical place that you can go to. It's a perspective phenomenon, dude. And it's
you
always
wanna-
horizontal.
Can you explain the phenomenon? I'm very curious about that.
What
I just told
phenomenon?
you it's not a physical place, bro.
Well, yeah, but like what's telling my brain that it's different? you
It's
know?
just obstruction. One day you
Oh.
can see at a point, another day you can see further away. I can wait. I don't think I
Depends on
have
your
the
it
gift.
depends on your optical ability, how good your eyes are, or a camera, or whatever you're looking through, bro. And it's all based on linear perspective. Type that in Google. It's the first lesson in every art class.
Okay.
Linear perspective with vanishing point. The reason why you can't see forever, because your eyes can't resolve what you're looking at, dude. It gets too small. That's all there is to it. It doesn't go over imaginary curve. The same reason you can't read a book from 10 feet away, and you can't see the book at all from half a kilometer away, right? Your eyes can't resolve it, bro. So when you raise the altitude elevation, you get better angular resolution, so you see more of the surface below you. That's all there is to it.
I will post you one astronaut for real if you want to see. It's a GIF. You can see it's really interesting GIF.
So if you're walking, like, you can walk across that like bridge between like Alaska and Asia, right? So, and you know the maps we see in school, right? Is there like, you're saying that it all ends in the ocean somewhere? Is that where the
Yeah, and it's guarded by the military. That's what I heard.
all the water is contained, and basically we're just
That's what you need to understand, that all bodies of water are contained and surface is level, and there's
Oh.
no independent exploration beyond 60th parallel south.
Okay, but
So
why?
even the ice wall,
Has
which is
anyone
the
ever
most
been past
logical
that?
explanation, even the ice wall, which is the most logical explanation of what holds our water contained, even that is hypothetical. We don't know. We can't verify it. We've seen videos and pictures and photos, but we don't know 100%. We cannot verify it. That's it.
so. You
But
know,
physics tell us and natural laws tell us that all bodies of water must be contained. They cannot stick to a spinning sphere.
so you don't think that any person has traveled past certain points on the Earth, which
Whatever, they might have done it, but we have no clue what they've seen. So who cares?
well, what if they did, and then because like I still
But what if question doesn't make any sense, bro? Just ask yourself, does a what if make any question like
But
sense?
the thing is, you gotta go to Antarctica and then travel for like thousands of miles in those conditions. Who the fuck's done that? How you
well,
can't
I'm
even
sure
do
like
it.
I'm
Russians-
sure like
I
one
know the
person's
Russians
done
did
that.
it once.
And maybe
Didn't
that's
the Russians do explorations like that?
No, I mean you
Nobody,
literally go
nobody crossed it
perpendicular for
Antarctica,
thousands of
never
miles.
ever. Nobody crossed it Antarctica, never ever.
Do you realize
There's
what you need for
something
that?
in news, but that's a lie. And nobody, only one person or two or something, but nobody passed it Antarctica.
Just stories, man.
Like you won't have food, you basically won't have water. It's kind of impossible. You won't have anything. You just have to take everything that you need to
Couldn't I just fly
exist there.
across it?
Well, good luck at that temperature to have anything that actually works.
Well, okay.
Man, if you look for Admiral Byrd, he went there in 1950, I don't know which year, and look with what he went there. He went there with military. I don't know how many ships, how many airplanes, and blah blah blah. And they reach some points, and that's it.
I even know that, bro. It's all just stories, man.
And who
I
knows
don't know
that it's also that?
why people
Yeah,
want to talk about Antarctica so much. Like it's when all the proof for flat Earth is like right in front of their eyes, dude.
so you think there's like some secrets that's being kept by the military that they don't want the people to know? Is that what
No, it's so this is what a lot of people say we say. It's not like that. The easiest way to explain how these things can happen is think of a communist party. Everybody knows it's bullshit, but nobody says anything against it. So this, let's say, happens 20, 50, 100 years and so on, and then everybody forgets
It's a
about
good
it,
analogy, bro.
right? No, it's the best because people want proof. Well, here's the proof.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's dumb, but nobody says anything. Well, there you go, and everybody's indoctrinated with this.
Yeah.
Nobody ever questions it, and you don't have to actively think you're lying. No, you just never question it, and that's how everybody lies. They actually have no clue they're lying, but everybody's saying a lie. It's not hard, really. There's no grand conspiracy. It's very basic, actually.
Do you think the government faked the moon landing?
Of course.
of course.
Dude, we just went how the space is impossible. So
Yeah, so
anything
like,
that's
why would they
claimed
fake
to
that
be-
though? Why would they not tell people?
There's a
make-
video of you know what trains what is those things, big
Why would they
oil
fake it?
platforms that they have in their bag at the trains. You can literally reshape one of these using pressure. Like hardcore metal, you can destroy it using just vacuum.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that suit resisted in a perfect vacuum? It's fabric. And there's metal that bends in a vacuum. Metal, hardcore metal. And the suit
that
made of fabric
We're talking
resists.
about a pressure that's 10 to the negative 17 torr. That shit pulverizes. Like, even if it was possible, that type of pressure would pulverize everything to non-existence. Meanwhile, these dudes went up there and like, yo, flying their rockets, burning combustion, fucking fuel in vacuum.
Okay,
They
so
won't ask any questions. They won't ask any questions.
so
Let's fly rockets.
Vlad, only to interrupt. I want to know, does people have idea when we say gas pressure without container about that vacuum, that we are a little atom, small electron in space? comparing to space, and we have atmosphere that means gas, and that gas is going through that vacuum without any problems.
Unbelievable. Yeah?
Okay, so I
Awesome.
have another question. It's not like plane related. It's like more ship related. I might be the same answer. I don't know. So if there,
It's like this. Just 1 second, bro. Like, let's not jump from subject to subject. Just to conclude this, so you don't ask another question. Like, like you're gonna go back to space eventually,
right,
right?
right.
The definition
Did
for
you
gas
did,
pressure.
Yuba, did
Remember
you
the
see?
definition.
Okay, let me ask you a
Just
question
1
about.
second, bro. Just 1 second, bro. Just remember the definition for gas pressure, bro. The force the gas molecules exert on the walls of its container. Okay? But just remember, you cannot have gas pressure without the container. If we didn't have a container, you wouldn't be breathing right now, bro. The only reason you're breathing is because we have a container. I can't say it any more clear than that.
So
So
the
you
Earth
ask
is
the next
so the
question
Earth
about the
is
space. Let me just one more question, one more thing, dude. So if you ask more questions about what's out in space, it means that you didn't understand what I just told you, bro.
So let me try and simplify this real quick. So the
Go ahead.
Earth is like not like like flat, and there's a container around it that supports all life.
That's right.
So where did the container come from?
We don't know, bro. See, now you're getting into God's questions. We don't
You're
know
right. You're right.
anything, dude. You know, this pressurized system, Earth, must have been created from outside, bro. Because system cannot create itself. It had to have a creator, supernatural creator, something that's outside of the system that had to create this. Because the first and second law of thermodynamics can't be violated. First law is energy can't be created or destroyed, which means whatever created the system, Earth, must have been creating it from outside. You understand? Supernatural creator, bro.
So what?
Whoever put it here must have been done it from outside, put it here for us to live inside it.
So the ozone layer has like a hole in it, right? They say it's like depleting,
No, we don't,
right?
we
That's
don't
the
know anything
story.
about ozone. That's claimed to be up there, and it's also a gas. Gases cannot contain other gases. Understand? Like helium can't
Yeah.
hold, like, right? Methane can't hold butane, like shit like that. You need container for all these gases.
So what about the sun then? Like, so do you think the sun
We
is
don't know
just
anything. We don't know anything. Anything that's in the sky, all we know about the things in the sky is what we can observe. And that's that they all move east to west around the central point in the sky. So sun, moon, and stars all rotate east to west above our heads every single day of our life. And that's something that you see with your own eyes every day, bro. You see the sun come from the east, come above your head, and disappear into the western horizon. Now, in
Yeah,
your
give me.
mind, if you live on a globe, in your mind, you have to say, no. The sun is not moving above my head. The sun is burning ball of hydrogen and helium somewhere deep in the vacuum, and now I'm spinning on the globe. Right? You see the type of mental gymnastics that have to take place in your mind, bro, to justify this globe religion in your mind.
well? Okay,
Total madness. You have to go against everything you experienced.
so I have a question about the sun though, right? So I see it come up on the horizon on the side of me, right? Right?
Comes from the east, generally
Right.
from the east.
Right, but you
general
see it like
direction.
flat with your eye level, right? Correct or incorrect?
You see it what? I'm sorry?
I
What do you
see
mean?
I see the sun come up from the horizon, and it's flat. Like if I look directly at it, I see a small bit of it. Then it keeps appearing right in front of me, straight. In the west, right? It rises in the east. So the east, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I look above me midday, and it's above me.
That's right.
Then at the end of the day, I see it on the other side of me, flat once again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
if I
what
take
about it?
the 3 points that it traveled, flat above me and flat on the other side, if you connect those 3 dots, that's an arc, right? Is that not like a half
No.
circle?
It all has to do with perspective. It all has to do. How about an airplane? Let's say an airplane comes from the east. You're gonna see it come from the eastern horizon, go right above your head, and disappear into the western horizon just together with the sun.
I'll give you
Correct?
an experiment you can do, actually, an
Just 1
observation.
second,
You
correct?
just
You agree with this?
What I'm saying is like,
Numbers.
so
I said the airplane. Let's say you're watching an airplane.
okay.
Does the same thing like the sun. Comes from the eastern horizon, goes above your head, and disappears into the western horizon. Thanks to perspective. It was always above the earth, same altitude. You agree with this? So it's all perspective.
But I have a question. So
Just
if
one second, Andrew. Like, just one second, bro. Andrew, did
So
you
I
want to
mean,
add on something?
but I think
I
planes can
wanted to
go
tell him
either
like what
direction
you could
though.
do to observe it. Like you can take your phone and you can record yourself. Like put the phone on the ground and
Okay.
then record yourself as you're in the like at an edge of the room, and then get it closer to your phone. And you're not changing the altitude of your hand or whatever, and you will see it looks as if it's going above you in an arc, but all you're doing is just moving in a straight line. Like do it so you see with your own eyes.
So what you're saying is put the phone in the corner of the room.
Yeah, you're in the other corner.
Okay.
Then you fix your hand somewhere in an altitude, like pretty close actually to the
Okay.
ground.
Okay.
And then you go towards the phone
Mm-hmm.
and see what it looks like.
Well, I'm looking at it at a different angle, right? I'd be either above it or farther away. But we know, like, I mean, we see planes go up into the sky, right? So it's not the plane's always the same altitude. It goes up, right?
no, you're forgetting it's all perspective.
Exactly, and that was my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Hey, old dude.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
So
With two dudes in here, Nubrak and Death Z, need a VC verified so they can learn more, explore more data. I talked to them for a while. We talked to them for a while. They seem to be cool. They gave me the word no trolling, spamming, and shit like that. So if you can hook them up with a
Cool.
couple of VC verified.
Give me 2 seconds, mate, and I'll give you VC verified.
Thank you, sir.
Hey Vlad, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if everything's perspective, and how come if we send robots to space and they project an image?
What did we just talk about space?
You're
Okay.
right. Space doesn't exist, but why? How come it shows us that space exists?
So you asking me how come stuff in Narnia exists, and I just told you Narnia is not real, bro. Like, you know,
yeah,
right? So
you're right.
We're
past.
I had to mute. I couldn't do it, bro.
You're right.
Oh my fucking god. Narnia. I couldn't do it, bro.
Oh, maybe not yet. In a second, and there's tons of data here, bro. If you guys are truly interested, make sure you check everything out. But before anything, just read the rules and welcome and all that shit, and make sure you follow the rules. And join us down the live stream and let's talk, man. You guys seem like you're interested in a topic, you know.
So
we're past the,
isn't
we're
there
past the silliness, I hope.
Are you saying there's no plane that flew a straight line and ended up like started in like California and then went like to Asia, then Europe, then back?
How can I know if ever, like, dude, like, you asking me hypothetical questions, bro? Like,
you're saying no pilot has ever flown like in a straight line and got to the same spot?
When did I ever say that? Like, when did I ever say that?
I didn't say you.
You never said it. You never said it. But we're just curious, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, what?
You're right. We shouldn't. You're not like an all-seeing God. You're right. We shouldn't. We shouldn't expect you to have all the answers. You're right. We're sorry.
Not a pilot for sure, bro. Like, and honestly, I don't like. Like I told you, I don't believe you could pass the 60th parallel south. But what would happen if somebody did? My guess is as good as yours, bro. You know.
So.
And stuff in the sky, like, dude. Like I said, other than what we can observe, we don't know anything. So asking us how does sun work or what is sun and like these questions, dude, don't expect to find answers for that shit.
Right, because you know, if I lived in California, I see some planes go over the ocean and they land in Asia, and then I see some planes go the other way to Europe, right, or to New York or whatever, right? So like, if those planes kept going, they eventually come back to in the same direction. They didn't change their direction. They end up back where they were if they keep going straight.
I don't know, my dude. I don't know. We're back to airplanes again. Until you fly yourself and until you map that flight, you're not gonna know, bro. You can just hypothetical, you know, like you're thinking, you're assuming.
Well, don't you think like flat earthers should have like interviewed some pilots or like?
And we did plenty, and you're gonna see all that data, bro.
Yeah, that's you both verified, guys. If you'll check the welcome, that's you cleared to join the voice stream. You'll be live on YouTube when you're in the voice stream. Other than that, welcome to the server. Have fun, enjoy. Hopefully, it'll be a nice environment towards you. Cool. Glad you joined, bro. Enjoy.
Thank you, all, dude.
You're welcome.
All right, let's head out.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna head out for a little bit.
Sounds
good,
bro.
I will be back.
Sounds good, brother, man. So make sure when you come back, just go down to live stream and we'll continue talk. And yeah,
Of course.
good to meet you guys.
You too.
Yeah, of course.
New Brock, if you want, you can come down to live stream.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
because we're pretty much done here, bro.
Okay.
Yep.
Panto.
Oh, what you got to say?
Bro, I don't even know what to ask this guy. All I know is that we live in a container and space isn't real. I don't know what to ask him.
All right.
What do I even ask him?
We got a guy, New Brock. He just got VC verified. Sounds like an honest dude. But I think he has tons of questions. So, New Brock.
Yes, sir.
Feel free to ask any questions you got, bro.
So, what about like the moon and the tides? Like, how does that work?
You're talking about tidal locking, so that's just a fantasy story, bro. None of that shit is real because it can't be verified. Simple as that, dude.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, I've gone to beaches where one day the water was rescinded, or into the sand. Like the shore went on for a long time, and then the next day that tide came in, right?
Well, tides happen twice a day in most places. Yeah, so what about it? Like, they're just tides, bro.
But you're saying that the water has to be flat, correct? Because it's in a container.
Are you saying that because of tides, the water is not level?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
So what's the biggest tide that you ever seen? Like 10 feet, maybe, I think, in some places, right?
I mean,
up to 10 feet.
It depends on how... Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're literally talking wave, dude. Like, we're talking big waves.
So you don't think that has to do with, like, moon or the gravity?
Well, now you're talking cause. Until you can prove that cause, it's just nonsense fantasy stories, bro. You know? We know the tides happen, but saying why they happen is because of the moon, that's a fantasy, bro. That's, just an assumption. Just a story that somebody told you and now you're like repeating it,
He
You
has
can never prove that. There's no way to prove it.
Yeah.
Tides just happen, bro. They're just big waves. They happen twice a day on Earth. And it
But
only
why
happens
do
on
they?
ocean.
Why do they happen?
Only on ocean. We don't know. We don't know the cause, dude. The Earth breathing. Well, I know. For every man, dude.
If you like answer moon like that without
Because
proof,
where
it's
you
a
live,
moon,
who
you know.
are, and where you come from. Yeah, and like I said, there's like so many I don't know, bro. So and that's what scares the most people. If you lost, that's why they even know I'm gonna go back to my fantasy. How can you, A lot of shit is unknown, dude. And especially with the stuff with the sky. If it has to do with the moon and moon doing something on Earth, no, just a story, bro. Because until you can verify it, it's just a story.
So, the moon, we see in the sky, right? Like, sometimes the moon covers the sun, or vice versa, right? Like, there's no light on the moon, right? Because of the lunar and solar eclipses, right?
Yeah, eclipses, again, bro. We're going back to the sky. And
So-
what is
so-
the cause of the eclipse? Like, you can just tell, I'm
what
gonna
I-
ask you
what I-
straight up, what is the cause? And you're gonna tell me something that you heard in school, which is just an assumption, just a blind claim, bro.
Yeah.
So again, talking about this stuff is like,
Well, I'm just saying, wouldn't that mean that there's some kind of object, one in front of the other?
it could mean that, but it doesn't have to mean that. So I don't know again.
Well, hold on. When you turn off a light, does that mean that you put something in front of that light? What I'm saying is if there is a light that's on, that's emitting light, and that light goes dark,
Right.
does that necessarily mean that something is in front of it?
No, I mean, the light could turn off technically for that short period of time, but like we see some kind of object go in front of it though, right?
Yeah, the phenomena that we observe above.
Hold on. There's a point to that. You've entered into a false assumption when you say that that's the only reason that there has to be something there. We don't know. There's no way to vary it or manipulate it. All we can do is observe it.
So, like, I don't know. If I were to launch something into the sky, right? I could create a rocket, right? And I could shoot it up into the air. You're saying that there's no one on Earth has done that with a camera far enough to actually see. You're saying all the footage out in space is like edited or made up?
No, the camera's an illusion. Is what I'm getting.
Space part that the space part you're talking about is an area gas
You said
could
camera's
fill.
illusion, huh? Yo, that's Z. That's you, bro. You said camera's illusion.
Well, that's what I'm getting from this, because everything's perspective. That's what you said.
So if it's perspective, so does that mean camera's illusion? Come on, bro.
Well, then what? How come we have?
So are you getting triggered about this now? I thought
no, we're not. I'm not getting triggered. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I'm at the view.
You have a curious
Camera's an illusion.
Okay, so how's camera illusion?
Yeah, you never seen a camera, bro? What's going on with you?
Let's talk. What's your question, dude? Let's see.
I'm just curious because like there's footage of space. So like, is that just an illusion, or is that
footage
like
of space? Where's
yeah,
footage of space?
NASA's website.
Are you in a live stream right now? Are you in a live stream voice text right now? See the shit that cut posted? This is the weather balloon, dude. 120,000 feet. Are you in a live stream voice text?
Oh wait. Oh, let me see.
I'm confused.
The live stream.
It's right above live stream, just like you in the live stream talking, but right above it says live stream voice text.
Yeah.
Just hit that, and you're gonna see the little gifs and memes.
I see a unicorn. Yeah.
That unicorn is the last. Don't worry about that one. Like right above, there's a picture of a flat horizon from 120,000 feet. You see that? That's what it looks like when the weather balloon goes up with the camera on. Okay.
So how do you know? How do you know that?
Pretty much on the eye level.
So how do you know that image isn't faked?
Yeah.
This weather balloon, dude. What do you mean?
But like, you know how you're saying other, like, you know, we've sent satellites up and stuff, and you're saying those are fake. What makes a weather balloon not faked? You know what I'm saying?
Does this look fake to you? So
well, yeah, but like stuff can look fake. But
some of the other images look pretty real too, with curves on it.
How do we know this is not fake? Because I already told you, we already know that all bodies of water are contained at the surface's level. So this is what we're looking at when the air balloon goes up 120,000 feet. We're looking what we already physically verified, that all bodies of water are contained and level. You understand? So we're already looking at what we already physically verified. This is just like a little cherry on the top, dude.
Yeah, the montage, the montage that you see sometimes that is high altitude balloon, and they make that footage curve. That's mostly on the sensor, the optical. There's no curvature of the earth, but sometimes you'll see footage of high altitude balloons, and it looks like the earth is curving. That's just an illusion. There's no curvature of the earth. Nowhere to be found. It's never been measured. So these high altitude balloons, even the ones that NASA sends up with helium balloons, people think that these satellites that you see in cartoons and movies are real, but you never seen that. All you see about satellites is satelloons, which is devices, technology attached to helium balloons. And NASA does this. NASA is the biggest consumer of helium in the world, because all the helium balloons they send up. Then you can record high altitude balloon that works on a flat Earth. Plus, when you think about this other outer space, this place, some people see in their minds because they've seen it in TV, movies, cartoons. This place is like going to Narnia, you know, the wardrobe. You go in and then you find this place and talk to Aslan, the talking lion. That's basically the outer space that they show you in TV. That moon landing and all that stuff, that's Narnia. You can't go there. It's made in a Hollywood basement, or it's made by Disney, NASA. Same thing.
So I have a question, right? Like for like the North Pole versus like the equator, right? So do flat earthers believe that there's like an equator, or like different poles with a equator?
Different poles.
Like, is there
You
like
mean when we look up and look up and we see the North Star, which is celestial north, we see the toroidal, which is, well, you see the phenomena where the stars are going in a circle with the North Star. That's observable phenomena, but that doesn't determine the shape of the ground that you're standing on. You get that?
So what about like, I mean, but I'm trying to relate this to like magnets and stuff, right? There's obviously a north end and a south end to the magnet, right?
Yeah, so the what we call the north geographical on the earth, that where the compass is pointing, that's on the ground, right? That's a geographical area of the ground that the compass is pointing to. That will be the south of the magnet, and then the north will be in the sky, north toroidal, the celestial north. What- Did you get it?
A little bit. I mean, I'm not, you
Yeah,
know.
because when you point the compass is pointing in the ground somewhere, and then right above that is the north toroidal field, what is described as celestial north. It's one above the other one. Is the one in the ground will be south, and the one up above is celestial north. I mean, we label it positive and negative, or up and down, or whatever, but you know the ground is negative and the sky is positive, right? The sky has a positive charge and the ground has a negative charge. So when you go to the ground and the compass is pointing there, I mean, you could say that's south and above is north. We can see a lot of phenomena related to that, but like I'm saying, we can't go to the sky and test it and say exactly how it works, but we can observe how it works. We can see the toroidal field. We can observe a lot of phenomena that happens around this region of the sky, and we can speculate some sort of things about it, but none of it dictates, or you can come to the conclusion that the earth is a spinning globe, because when we measure the ground that we're standing on and the bodies of water that are supposedly 70+% water, the earth, right? Everything measures level. When you go to a lake, when you go to the salt flats, when you go to the sea level, it's all flat and level, and we can experience it. Everything is dependent on a flat, motionless ground. Airplanes, technology, communication systems, lasers, radar, everything is already dependent on a flat, motionless ground. Nothing needs the globe to work. Nothing. Nobody needs the globe. Only you, and the only place that you see the globe is this globe that you see in the class. This is in the back of the room in the corner, and you go touch it, and people tell you, hey, you live in this globe, and you spin it around with your hand, and even that globe is dependent on a flat, level, motionless table, right? And that's it. What?
So,
What's up,
Oh,
Dad?
nothing. I was just doing something.
So, like, okay, so what about like one side of the Earth is like has light on it, and one side doesn't? So do you think like some kind of flashlight is just going across the surface, or like?
Yeah.
Well, when you look up and you open your eyes, right? You wake up, you open your eyes, go outside. In the morning, you see the sun rising from the east, right?
Mhm.
And then at noon, it's above your head. and then in the before the evening start going down, afternoon it start going down to the west, and then uh, gets away from you, and the light doesn't go on forever, right? Light attenuation. So when the light goes through the atmos, through the medium, it will attenuate, and then you won't be able to see the light anymore. Just like when it's raining, when it's in a storm, very heavy storm, you can't see the sun even if it's noon, right?
Right.
So imagine that when the sun is already 1,000 miles from you and the light is going through the atmos. You can't see it anymore.
Why we don't have 12 hours daylight now?
What was that, Sasha?
Why we don't have 12 hours daylight?
Are you broadcasting from the moon?
Yeah, I'm in car, sorry.
So what about like Alaska that has like 12-hour days and 12-hour nights, you know, like some parts of the year they get like no sun at all. Right.
Look at this. Look at this. What I'm gonna post is it might give you kind of like an idea on a map sense of things.
Okay.
Let's see
Where am I looking?
In the live stream voice text.
Okay, I mean I see.
Look at this too.
Okay.
They might help you a little bit, but remember the light is coming from above, from the sky, so we cannot determine the shape of the ground from looking at the sky. But we do observe the phenomena, which is the sun and the luminaries, and we observe the cycles. These cycles repeat every year, just like day and night repeats every day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's...
So certain types of the day of the year, you're gonna have the light going through a surface, and it moves away from it, and then since the sun is not shining on that spot anymore, that's nighttime.
So, I mean, is that... So do you think that like scientific reasonings behind like the changes of seasons, right, where you're tilted farther or closer to the sun, like you don't think that exists at all?
Yeah, the change of seasons, I will tell you this, right? It's been observed for all generations, and it's caused it's not caused by the ground. Obviously the ground has a relationship to, you know, the gases and the season, so the cycle of the gases and everything that might have an effect. But the induction into the system that we standing on comes from above, from the sun, right? Because you can see that effect that the light has on the things down here. So the seasons, look at this, let me show it to you.
Okay.
So this is the North Star. This is I'm sorry. This is the North Sky, the
Wait,
North
where
Star.
am I looking at?
Live stream voice text.
Okay.
Live stream.
Oh, okay, I can see the live stream now. Okay.
So during the year, you can observe the rotation of the. Come on, Cot. I'm trying to explain something to them. You see the Big Deeper? People call it the Big Deeper.
Yeah, yeah. I see
So
the Big Dipper. Yeah.
You can tell the seasons depending on the position of the, you know, the stars, and then that's the same thing with the South Sky, the South Auroral. Let me find it here. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean that looks
So
like a windmill in the
luminaries are
sky.
moving. What was that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
That kind of looks like a windmill in the sky.
Kind of looks like a
Exactly. The sky is moving, and that's what we can observe. We can record it. It's been recorded by millennia, by all the generations. Look at the South Sky. Look at the South Sky. It always repeats. It's a repeating cycle. This is a yearly cycle. And then a lot of phenomena happens between. So look at some of the cultures, the way they describe the observable phenomena from the North Auroral fields.
So wait, what are these symbols on the live stream?
All the people down here from different nations, different civilizations, they look up. Everybody looks up, and they see this phenomena, and they can know when to when to put the seed in the ground, what is the timing, right? When to harvest. They know, the harvest, all that kind of stuff, the timing of the year, the time that you can do things depending on the season. So they
Hey,
follow, they describe it.
Where are you getting these diagrams from?
I mean, that looks like Nazi symbols to me.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I was thinking too.
Well, the Nazis took it from there and perverted it, right? But
Yeah.
this wasn't made by the Nazis. The Nazis is something recent. We're talking about all generations and all nations of the world have observed, described, and used the cycles of the sky to time things in a timely manner down here. Because if you don't prepare for winter, you might die.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
So all nations, all generations know about the seasons based on the luminaries because of the cycles. When you navigate, and people when navigating the past, even now, they use the luminaries and the position of the sky with a sextant to determine their position on the earth and where they're going depending on the time and wherever they're going. Because it's a repeating cycle, it's reliable, and people have been using it since ever.
That's kind of crazy, actually.
You see, it's all based on this.
Hey, Namrak, however you say that.
What's up?
How do you pronounce your name?
Namrak is fine.
Yeah, can I hop in a call with you real quick? I wanted to talk to you about something. Just a question.
Sure. I'll be right back.
Bro, what the fuck is this shit?
Bro.
What the hell am I listening to? This is just fucking unreal. This is just I want to just it's so hard. They got so triggered at me at one point too. It was so
yeah,
funny.
because they're like, is that a troll question, bro? You can't ask troll questions, bro. God damn.
Oh, we need to. So what's our plan here? What's the plan? What do we do?
I'm letting them talk. This is entertainment, bro. I don't know. I'm letting them, bro. They're blowing my mind, man.
Your mind, all right.
I thought it was just flat Earth. No, it's much deeper than that.
No, it's like a flat everything.
There's no space. We're all in containers, apparently. Like, I feel like we're in that Simpsons movie, you know?
We're in the Twilight Zone, bitch. We're in the Twilight Zone.
Jesus Christ, man. Like...
Alright, we gotta go back in there.
Okay.
What do we say we talked about, if they ask?
You asked me some, real...
philosophical question.
Right. About my beliefs. There you go.
Yeah, alright. Let's go back.
Holy shit, Twitch. What the fuck?
The sun closer, and that we have winter there.
So I know that, like, flat Earth is becoming more and more popular as it's, like, opening up people's eyes, right? But I'm still surprised, like, no one is actually, like, getting the hard needed proof, right? Like the unanswered questions that you guys have.
It's very simple, right? It's about the verification of the claim, the validation of the claim that is being put on the table. When we go to the people that make the claim that the Earth is a spinning globe, they provide very specific numbers and measurements of this globe. The radius of the ball, the circumference, right? When we put the radius of the Earth, that will be the curvature of the ground that we're standing on, right? The water, the curvature of that. We put that to the test. We go out there and use lasers, radars, and other tools to determine and test this claim, which will be 8 inches per mile square. And when we measure the Earth and the waters of the Earth, there is no curvature to be found anywhere on the Earth. So this ball, this claim is being falsified. It's pretty simple.
I mean, don't you think it's like kind of?
Well, you said that like we're not providing any like hard proof of the flat Earth. What would you consider hard proof of the flat Earth? Hello.
Remember, flat Earth is 2 words on a piece of paper, a descriptor. You're describing the immediate area that you're in, right? So if you go to the lake level. If you go to the sea level. You can measure that, test it, it's flat and level. So it's a descriptor. What the Earth is as a whole, nobody knows, because the Earth is not an object that you can just picture in your mind. It's not an object that you can just measure. We don't know the depth of the Earth. We don't know how high the container is or the firmament. We
Couldn't
don't
we
know how
find out?
so what the Earth is as a whole, nobody knows. At least
Right.
nobody.
Right.
And it's okay to say you don't know something. I'm not gonna make a claim about what the Earth is, how it looks, and how big it is, and how it actually works. But in relation to the things that we can test here in reality, how practical things are devised, everything works perfectly and is designed for a flat, motionless Earth. The immediate experience that we have.
So, I mean, I have a this might be a stupid question, so correct me if it is. But like, how come some places on Earth like are extremely mountainous, like, and then
Like
some,
Mount Everest.
right, like
topography.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Topography.
What is that exactly?
I mean, you have different elevations. You have mountains, you have valleys, hills, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but as a general descriptor, when you go up, right, and you measure the waters, it's level, and you go up, and the earth looks flat. There's no curvature. The mountains is topography. Doesn't take away that there's no curvature of the earth. It's topography. So the mountains, when you measure the height of the mountain or the hill, you base it on sea level, don't you?
Right.
All right, who
High
is fucking smashing their?
Yo, Sir Annan, hot micing. Sir Annan, mute yourself, bro. You hot micing.
What?
You're making noises, bro. You're coughing. You're making all kinds of noises.
Oh,
Mute
sorry.
yourself when you're not talking, bro. Thanks, man.
The topography that we see and we experience on Earth, yeah, the mountains, the valleys, the hills, it's all based on sea level, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, Breck.
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah, I said that makes kind of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Complete sense.
It's good that you mention your senses, right? Because when you
Yeah.
observe, when you look with your eyes, and you see horizontal, flat, level, the waters, right? You see the earth is flat and level. And then that's one of your senses, your vision. You see the horizon, right? you can see beyond that point that the globe Earth claims that the curvature should be curving away from you. You see beyond that point. So your vision is telling you that the Earth is not a globe, the Earth is flat. And then you can add your motion sensor. You don't feel any movement, right? Because if you were moving, you feel it. As your
Yeah,
senses are
but
telling you
isn't
that you're not moving. Your senses are telling you that you're not moving because otherwise it will tell you will feel the movement. So that makes sense. It's flat and motionless. And then you could look up. You can look up and you see the luminaries. You can make these observations of the sun moving across the sky, just like the moon and the other luminaries, right? Can you see with your eyes the luminaries moving up across the sky? Yes or no?
I can't. I don't know if anyone can.
I don't know what a luminary is, if I'm being honest.
I know what
So,
an illuminary is. You don't know what an illuminary is?
No, what's that?
so
It's
can you see the sun, the moon, and the stars moving across the sky when you look up?
Very slowly, right?
Do you see them moving? Yes or no?
I see the moon moving once in a while.
What about the sun? Does the sun, you observe the sun moving?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, so that's your senses telling you something, huh? And then that makes sense because your senses are telling you that this is what's going on. Going against your senses will be nonsense. So claiming that the earth is curving that you don't see, curving that the ground is moving that you don't feel, and claiming that what you see above is the opposite of what you observe, it's nonsense. It's nonsensical. Claiming that the Earth is a curving globe spinning through space that goes against natural law,
Right.
it's a nonsensical claim.
So let me ask you this: like, if for some reason some people did actually, like, someone you knew, took a plane and they went up high enough, or they like someone actually did this, would you believe them then that the Earth is round or no?
Do what? They do what?
Like if they,
Specific.
they somehow
Because listen, real quick, going out in an airplane, in the first place, the airplane, the engineers that design and build the airplane, they have to take into account a flat, motionless Earth to make the airplane work in the first place, right? It's in the guidelines. They tell you this, and then the operator of the aircraft, the pilot, never takes into account any curvature, any movement of the ground. They have to assume a flat, motionless ground to operate the airplane. And the firefighter or the person in the ground trying to shoot down this airplane on a war situation, they never take into account any movement of the ground or any curvature of the ground. So there's no ball for any practical thing. Anything that is practical is dependent on a flat motionless plane. Get it?
Right, right.
And when you use this airplane, right? Let's say you are in this ball rotating at the equator, because you mentioned the equator. At the equator, the ball is moving on an excess of 1,000 miles per hour.
Okay.
So if you go with the spin, will you catch if your airplane is going 500 miles per hour, will you ever cut any will you ever gain any distance if
Yes.
if you're competing against 1,000 miles per hour? So if an airplane is going 1,000 and you're going 500, you're gonna make it before the one going 1,000?
Um,
Anyways, that doesn't make any sense because exactly there's no senses applied to this imaginary thinking. There's no curvature of the ground. There's no movement of the ground. That's why just thinking about this cartoon ball, putting it in your mind, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
So what was the experience that you were trying to say that someone will get in an airplane and tell you the earth is round? I mean, I've been on many airplanes. When I look out the window, I see flat.
You do?
That's
You
what you
don't. You don't.
see.
I mean, I like Yeah, yeah, you're right. I've never thought of it like that.
So what about like so do you believe like what about like meteorites and stuff? So do you think
Yeah, yeah. Like what wiped out the dinosaurs?
well no okay, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But like how do meteors
So
they have to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So so when you put equipment to observe natural phenomena, right? Like what we call sporadic meteors, the daily showers, the evening showers of meteors, we observe this phenomena and it's been determined with observations and research that all the phenomena that we call sporadic meteors, you see these lines of light crossing the sky. Have you ever seen this phenomena yourself?
Yeah, I've seen a couple shooting stars, yeah.
Okay, this phenomena comes from 6 radiant sources above. All of them is all specific areas of the sky that all the meteors come from.
Which area of the sky is it?
The North Toroidal field, it's a big region of the sky. It's not just one small spot. It's called 6 radiant sources. It's the North Apex, South Apex, Helion, Anti-Helion, the North Toroidal, the South Toroidal, and all the meteors come from these regions of the sky.
And why do they come from this region? Is there like what causes that?
That's a really good question because the phenomena that we see above, it's what we see, what happens, and that's the way it is. Why is happening? That's a good question. We will have to go up there and test it and see why. Well, it's like asking why is water water, right? Why is
Yeah.
fire fire? I mean, it just is.
Because it's a combination of oxygen and other stuff.
But why? Why is that the case?
Because
that's the way it works, right? Like it's like the question of it's like asking why is the Earth flat or why is the Earth a globe? I mean, why is a globe? Because someone told you it is. Someone draw a cartoon, show you this globe, and that might be why some people think that the Earth is a globe. Or why is the Earth flat? It's just the way it is. Why is the sea level? It's just the way it is. It's level. Why is the ground motionless? Why isn't the ground moving? That's the way it is.
So if space doesn't exist, then
The space between you and I does exist. The space that your table is occupying at this moment. I mean, that's the space the table occupies. The space that
no,
your
like
house
outer
occupies.
space.
yeah, outer
Oh,
space, I'm
outer
saying.
space. So
Yeah, why
the
is
outer
that
space.
a vacuum and why is there like why would we just like, we wouldn't there's no it's literally a vacuum, right?
There's no vacuums in nature. You don't see this vacuum that they show you. These
But it's not nature
because
though. It's outer space.
listen. The you can breathe fresh air. Can you take a deep breath right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you can only do that because we are in a pressurized system, right? There's air pressure around us. We can expand our lungs, and the pressure of air will rush into the lungs, right?
Right.
So at sea level is 14 psi, right? And the necessary antecedent, the first that there is air gas pressure in the first place, for
Whoa.
that to be
Sorry.
for that to be so, a container is required, because gas pressure is the force that the gases exert on the walls of the container. If there was no container, there will be no gas pressure.
We went over
So
this like
this
3
this
times.
place that they tell you they go to outer space is, like I told you. Remember when the girl goes through the wardrobe and find herself in Narnia and talking to the lion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie. It's a good movie.
So that's where the outer space is in Fantasyland, because this a container in reality, right? Air pressure, gas pressure, the container is required for that. Nobody's leaving the container.
No, Brock, didn't you say
Is
you
there
already
a way we
understood
could
this,
leave the
bro?
container?
That's it. You already said you understood this, bro. We went over this like 3 times.
Yeah, but
well,
like,
okay,
is there a way I could
okay.
get past the container?
That's a good question. Maybe we gotta try it,
Yeah.
or maybe we could die trying. Who knows?
Yep.
You die trying, you transcend the container.
Maybe no one has told you they passed the container because they tried and they died. That's why no one has told you.
And
If you
the thing is that we
die trying,
we don't know. Like, in other words, if you have a steak, right, if you have a filet mignon, you know it came from a cow, right? You don't need to see and have
Well,
and look at the cow.
Nowadays they got the fake meat, you know.
Well,
Yeah, you're right. Fake meat. Yeah.
Right, a Beyond Meat. But that's not. It's not a filet mignon, is it?
Yeah, that for me is
Right.
like having a cartoon steak, right? You can't eat the cartoon steak.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
So
Go ahead.
it comes from a cow. That's the same thing with the antecedent of gas pressure. In other words, you have to have a container. That's the definition of it, right? For gas pressure.
Mhm.
And not only that, if not having a gas, like they're saying there's a vacuum, is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics, because all the gases will expand, spread out to the lower pressure system to equalize. So I mean, without having a container, all gases should be gone. I mean, it will be expand everywhere. And so that's what we're saying when we say space is fake, is what what they told you about what quote unquote space. It can't be true, because all the gases on Earth would leave.
Because I watched this what was it? There's this music video, and it was, I forgot who it was by. I'm trying to find it. They flew up in an airplane, and then they got past a certain elevation above the ground, and everything became weightless. So everything was flying all around the airplane.
No, you're talking about a parabolic flight, which they'll fly up and then they just drop down.
You're falling with the airplane, and it looks like you're floating, but it's because there is no resistance inside the airplane. It's a pressurized system. It's a pressurized cabin. So the
Right.
airplane is falling. You're falling with the airplane, so you have the appearance or the illusion that you're floating, but you're just falling.
So you're saying all these people. So I have the music video. It's actually OK Go upside down and inside out. And you see they're in an airplane, and then they become weightless, and then everything starts flying around the airplane here.
Yeah,
like zero G.
It's called a parabolic flight. The plane goes up and then it goes down, it drops down, and it's
Wouldn't that just be falling? Wouldn't that just be gravity?
It's not gravity, but it is falling. You want to get into gravity because there's no experiment for gravity or hypothesis.
What, Isaac Newton?
What's that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You're saying there's no hypothesis for gravity, but like you take something and you let go, it drops,
Didn't
right?
we go over
There
this
has
already?
to be a reason behind that, right?
What if you take
No,
a
Brad,
helium?
so you
What
forgot
if
what
you
we
take
talked
a
about,
helium
right?
balloon and let go?
Yeah, it goes up, right?
Why?
Because of the gas.
But what's the difference between the gas outside and the gas in the balloon? Is it what
Because
is it?
there's different properties to the gas.
Can you be a little more specific?
The density,
I'm
right?
not a physicist.
Ah,
But
there
I
you
know
go. Somebody said it.
You
Somebody
remember.
said it.
The density.
The density of the gas is a lot lighter, a lot heavier. The density of the gas in the balloon, helium balloon, is a lot lighter than the density around it. Now, when you picked up an object, you put it up there yourself, right? Is that density of that property, let's say a mouse or a rock, is it denser or less dense than the gas around it, than the medium that's in?
Yeah, the rock is more dense, right?
Right,
Than
it's
the
denser than the gas, the medium that it's in. You could put, let's say, a balloon, I mean, a regular ball in water, denser medium, and the balloon, the ball will float up, right? Because the gas is at the medium. Same thing with an anvil. You put an anvil in mercury, it will float like if it was a freaking balloon, because the density of the mercury is more dense than the anvil. It has to do with it's an equilibrium thing. Has nothing to do with something pulling you down. Matter of fact, you said Isaac Newton. Newton's theory was pretty much discarded about 106 years ago and replaced with um, Einstein's the warping of a quote unquote concepts, space time. Can you manipulate space or time?
Not that we know of.
Right. So
what about a
So
black
how
hole?
can
why
this
Isn't
have
that
an effect
theoretically
in
possible?
physicality? How can a concept has an effect on anything? It doesn't. Can my liberty has an effect on tyranny?
Um,
No, these concepts in the mind of Einstein have no effect on physicality, on reality. No, the answer is no. But then you can go to specific gravity. Let's. I haven't. Let me find a link.
and specific
where
specific gravity is another word for uh, what is it called again?
Density,
Yes,
buoyancy, that kind of stuff. Let's see. Let me see what I find.
relative density.
Yeah, you're doing a good job at explaining this. You're pretty clear with this.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's because our opinions have no effect on reality. Reality, it is what it is. So we can test things and verify things and falsify others. So we have the claim that the Earth is a cartoon spinning globe that's been falsified by many means. And since in the first place it goes against natural law on all of your senses, it's it's nonsensical violation of the natural world. So this extraordinary claim without any extraordinary evidence can be just, you know, we can just disregard it as not reality. This claim that the Earth is a ball spinning globe and has no evidence for it, I mean, is discarded. I mean, a lot of people want to believe in this cartoon and the outer space religion, but not everybody believes in that, because when you go to reality, you accept it for what it is. It's difficult for some people because they have like this I don't know, romantic relationship with the cartoon ball and the outer space.
Romantic, really? Can you explain that a bit more? Romantic.
Yeah, it's like
Fast.
an illusion. You're in love with this artist that you never met, seen, touched,
Yeah.
smelled, and you just think
Mhm.
about this guy, like being in love with an anime character.
Right. Yeah. Like any.
There you go. That's the relationship with the globe. You're in love with a cartoon. That's basically it.
But yeah. Yep. I agree.
You can fantasize with the ball, with the globe, and hey, yeah, I'm going to space and I'm going to Mars and all these cool things. But it's just a fantasy. Just like
What
whatever
makes it a
fantasy you have with
fantasy?
just like the fantasy you might have with the cartoon character.
What
You
makes
might
it a
be
fantasy?
because what makes it real? Nothing
Well,
makes it
well, I
real.
could say the same thing about your argument. The Earth is flat, though, couldn't I?
What
That's
are
that's the base axiom.
Yeah, that's an
You
axiom.
always
That's the descriptor of the what we experience.
right.
How can reality be false? Come on, dude.
Yeah,
But
you always experience the Earth as a flat stationary plane. You never experience the Earth as a ball. You never experience the Earth as it's moving. Another thing that anything that they tell you, never experience it that way. You never experience a vacuum. All you experience is gas pressure, stationary Earth, and flat level surface in most cases. Of course, we have topography, mountains, valleys. But if you go to the sea, it's always level. You always see the horizon flat.
Mhm.
So the thing is, they've told you this information, right? But they never actually present you. All they present you is images, not an actual picture. The only picture they say that it's the actual picture is the one from the one supposedly to the moon. But then again, they're telling you they went to Narnia.
I'm gonna go eat breakfast. I'll be back.
No, you don't need that. You just imagine that you did it already, and that should be good.
I mean, I think that hunger is a very real thing.
All right,
Hey, you know what you should do though is you should just trust the scientists that you've already eaten and you are satiated.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Go get some food.
Okay.
Yeah, get some food. I guess the thinking overload him, and now he needs that refuel that tank.
Absolutely, man. Eat some
Yeah,
fish. Fish oils are good for the brain.
Oh yeah, fish. I've been having some fish lately. It's definitely feels good. My feelings feel good after I eat fish.
So the Elon Musk and the other billionaires that just went to space, all those videos were
Well, you know the Elon Musk stuff. It must be real because it looks so fake.
Wait, what? No, I'm
Well, you never heard Elon saying this is a direct quote from Elon Musk when talking about his car in space, the Tesla car in space. He looked at the footage during an interview and he said, you know it's real because it looks so fake."
You don't think that there's a car in Narnia, right, Nubrak? Have you actually looked at the footage?
Do I believe there's a car in Narnia? No.
Right. No. So, have you actually looked at the footage from the car?
I'm not saying the car. I'm arguing like the
Oh, okay. So the car is not real, but the rest is real?
The car looks kind of fake, to be honest. But like,
Yeah.
what about like this Richard Branson? Going to space, first billionaire in
They
space.
don't go to space, right? So even the top astrophysicist will tell you that 60 miles. Branson didn't even hit 60 miles, but 60 miles is not space. That's just going really
High
high.
altitude flight, very high altitude flight. Yeah, you can go really high up, sure. That's not Narnia.
So
yeah, when we get, are you in the live stream?
Yeah, I'm in the live
in
stream.
the voice text. So when we get the image from Branson, Earth looks concave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course people can go really high and then fall down like a parabolic flight. That doesn't mean they're going anywhere, right?
You know
the
how long
point-
they claim they went to space on these flights? It's like 2 minutes or something like that. 3 minutes, I think.
Right. I mean, but you don't think that humans could go any higher?
Maybe a little bit higher than 60 miles, but
And then what
I mean,
happens?
eventually,
container.
yeah, eventually you get to a container.
What do you mean you get to a container?
You remember that necessary antecedent for you to breathe fresh air and be able to do anything beyond that point after breathing air, because the gas pressure is there for you
Yeah,
to
we're in
breathe
this
air.
container. Yes,
So
I get that.
to have that in the first place, you need a container is required.
So you're saying they escaped the container?
Nobody
No.
escapes the container, or you be dead.
The container is really high up. I think to reach it will be another layer of that. So they went high up. You can go high up on high altitude airplanes, right?
Uh-huh.
And you go to that point and then you come back down. That's what happened. They went up and came down. They didn't pass the container.
What happens when you pass the container, though, is what I'm saying.
That's a good question.
Because
But that's
you can see farther out, right? Like they're up there. They can see that it goes farther than the height they're at.
No, you know that the militaries of the world, they when they devise these ballistic bombs in the, what was it, the 50s, guys? They sent a bunch of bombs to the sky. They nuked the sky. They threw bombs to the sky for years and years. And if the bombs can't penetrate the firmament or the container, you think this aluminum airplane will?
So you're saying that we sent bombs into the sky and they couldn't explode it or penetrate it?
Yeah, it's
The
called
Russians
Operation.
and
Yeah,
I didn't
Operation
say
Dominic.
this. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So Operation Dominic, Operation Fishbowl. Look it up. They Operation
means
Dominic.
of the Lord. Yeah, Dominic means of the Lord, and then fishbowl. So when you put that together, fishbowl of the Lord.
Yeah,
And they threw the biggest bombs, the biggest bombs available to man. They threw these things to the sky for, I think, almost a decade.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this was just before the Antarctic Treaty was created and NASA was founded.
Around the same time, they dig the deepest hole ever done by man, which is 7.8 miles. They couldn't dig any further. It's basically impossible to do so because they couldn't do it. They just couldn't dig any further. Around the same time, they sent the explorers to the north and the south regions of the earth, right? They explored Operation High Jump to the Antarctic Basin, which is a 200 feet tall wall of ice. Operation High Jump, and then Operation Deep Freeze. They went deep into the frozen tundra of the Antarctic region, and they explore this region with airplanes and military personnel and many other things. And also the fishbowl and the Dominic bombs to the sky. So they basically tested all the variables: deep, sideways, and high. They threw the bombs up. They explored to the sides. the plane. They explore the plane, and they dig holes to the ground to see the, I don't know, the limitations of this place. Get it?
Now, correct me. I don't know if this is true or not, but don't we have like internet cables that go all the way like around the globe?
All of the nations, so the sea cables, the everything, all the communication system. Big part of it is fiber optic cables that traverse the seas and bodies of water. Yeah, that works perfectly on a flat Earth. No globe required.
Oh, it's because they just turn or whatever have curves in them, the cables.
Yeah, that's funny. It's just cables. It's just cables. That's just what it is. The communication cables. Yeah, that's it. So a lot of people think, oh, I got satellite connection because I got GPS and I can talk to people and satellite TV, blah blah blah. But 99% of the communications is done on ground-based systems. So people making claims that they can communicate with others through the internet or whatever because of satellites, that's just crazy.
So yeah, wait, what did you guys think of satellites in general, or?
The communication systems are based on, ground systems. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Even your cell phone tower, your GPS triangulation, everything is based on a ground system.
And then what about the International Space Station?
Have you ever been in a pool?
Yeah, I've been in a pool, yes.
Okay. NASA holds one of the they have a really big pool, and they have an actual replica of the ISS inside this pool. And they do a lot of, filming there.
Really, I didn't know that.
What you see in the ISS, do you think this is achievable with, camera trickery, green screens, and all that kind of stuff? Do you think that's
I
achievable?
mean, it probably is. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't doubt me.
There you go.
Because I mean,
Pretty easy.
there are space movies out there, so.
You got it. Space might be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
So you don't think there's any kind of reality where that would even be possible?
No, what they show you, what you see, this final product that they show you about space and this kind of stuff, that's the fantasy land, obviously. But there is projects that are secret that they do for exploration, right? They do send devices up. They do send the satelloons, the satellite attached with helium balloons. They do all this stuff that is doable in reality, but then they give you a layer beyond that, which is the fantasy layer. They make these movies and all this made up stuff about Earth being a ball and going to the moon and walking on the moon. This is where the Disney, Hollywood, NASA um, production, fictional production side of things kicks in. They give you these movies to see this fantasy and believe it. But all of this goes against natural law, and the measurements that we do of the ground on the earth, we falsify the claim that they make about the earth being a ball. So when they show you the cartoons and they show you these movies that show you this ball, you know it's false because it's not reality. It's pretty simple.
So why do you think like NASA would want to fake all this for this long?
Well, we can speculate about why will liars lie, but many reasons. Money, NASA gets like what is it, like $55 million a day? That will be a really good reason to lie.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then they control a lot of land, resources. They control a lot of, manpower. They have the government has a lot of employees. And, they're also a military branch, so they do hold power. So many, many reasons, but that will be speculation because I don't know why liars won't lie. But then when you go to nature and to reality and test some of their claims, you can falsify them. So even though some people can lie, you can tell they're lying because their lies doesn't hold any base on reality. They don't hold any fundamentals on reality. But like I said, there might be black projects, that they do things in reality like explorations and devices, and they put some money into this. And yeah, when we see a rocket going up, I seen the rockets go up with my own eyes.
Right. I've
But
seen that too.
and,
Yeah.
and then they go away from my view. Then I don't see it anymore. Where did that rocket go? Away from the area that I was standing. And then they click in the cartoon and show you, hey, look, you see this cartoon right here? This is where the rocket is right now in this cartoon. Outer space. Have you seen that happening?
Wait, say that again?
Have you seen, when they show you the rocket going in a parabolic shape, it's going away from you, and they switch the video into a cartoon, and they
Yeah.
show you like,
Yeah.
yeah. So there you go. That's where the rock it went away from your view, somewhere into the ocean, and then they show you a cartoon to tell you what the rocket is doing now. It's a cartoon going to outer space. But remember, very important, you can't go to Narnia.
You cannot go to Narnia. I tried once. Don't worry about it. I almost died. Don't worry about it.
Look at this photograph that someone shared in the VC is Von Braun walking on the moon. You see the lunar lander and the astronaut behind him?
So,
What?
is there a place I can link something for images for you guys to look at?
Send it to me. I'll share it right here.
Okay.
Send it to Jamesy.
I'm just. So, like, I have two images here. One is like, sticks like, and then I'll show you another image of sticks. Now, if the like the shadows on them I'm talking about, right? So the shadow moves as time passes. If the world is flat, then two different sticks in different locations would produce the same shadow.
There, guys, I shared what he posted to me. Maybe someone can go through this. I could go through it, but maybe someone can be more specific.
But like, you see how in the second image, how the shadow is different because the Earth is I think the Earth is still round, even though I'm getting some points out of you guys, right? Like I'm just want to know how this image works.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things you have to assume for we've seen this before, right? The shadows on the ground, whatever.
Right.
So first thing you have to assume is the Earth is round, right? And then the second is that the sun is extremely far away, right?
Right.
Right. So based on those two assumptions, you could say that that might be right, that the Earth might be curved. But now, if you assume that the Earth is a flat stationary plane, right, and the sun is much, 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 much closer, same results.
Yeah, so the sticks and shadow will give you results for both assumptions. The Earth is a globe because if the sun is far away, the Earth is a globe, or if the sun is really close, the Earth is flat. So the the test doesn't prove anything.
So you're saying if the sun is close, it would produce that same kind of curved shadow that we see in the second picture?
It will
Right. So
produce
if you look,
the wanted result.
if you look what Draced just posted right under yours at 45 minutes after the hour.
Let me see where it is. What under the live stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two images right there are the same thing done. One with a light source close, and one with a light source far. One is a curved surface, and the other one's flat surface, and they both produce the same exact results. I mean, I think even Neil deGrasse Tyson tells you the same thing.
So you can just calculate shadows and say, oh, there you go. I calculated shadows. Therefore, the ground is a curving ball. Because when you measure the place that you're standing on, you measure the earth, you measure the waters of the earth, there is no curvature on the measurements.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. Sticks and shadows that they believe that is a physical Earth circumference measurement. It's absolutely mind blowing.
Let me give you some other pictures that I want to send it to Gemsy as well.
Sounds good.
So there's one image. Here's a second image too. So with these images, it shows obviously one being flat Earth and one being the round Earth, right? Now, in the case of the if the Earth was flat, right, being higher up would not make a difference.
There you go, guys. He shared this with me. Go ahead, guys, if anyone.
But because the Earth is round, if you're higher up, you can see farther.
Incorrect.
I just want to point out real quick. You guys can go into this, but you know that round is a description, right? A pizza can be round and it's flat. A coin can be round and flat. A frisbee can be round and flat. So this round thing is kind of, I don't know. Sounds like people can't be very specific about the actual.
No, I'm talking round in perspective to these pictures that I'm sharing.
All right, go ahead, guys. Go. What's your question again? Someone might answer. Go ahead, bro. Sorry for interrupting.
No, I'm just saying, like, you see the two pictures that Gemsy linked. You see that, like, the guy that is taller, that is higher up on the Earth or higher altitude from the ground, can see farther. And that wouldn't happen in a flat Earth.
Yeah, so are you familiar with a vanishing point?
Not
have you ever been in an art class where you draw in perspective?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're drawing in perspective, you're drawing towards a vanishing point, correct?
Yeah, I assume so, yes.
So even on a flat surface with a gain in elevation, you will have an increased distance to your vanishing point. Does that make sense?
A little bit, yeah.
So what you're saying about elevation not being able to increase the distance that you see on a flat surface is just patently false. It's observable, and you can do small-scale demonstrations for yourself to prove this.
Now, okay, now I got another image too. That I kind of, I'm just, let me see.
The vanishing point, the angle of view, and also visibility, because between the observer and the object, there might be other variables like the medium that you're looking through. So the result of viewing or not be able to view something, there's multiple variables, and not just obviously the angle of view of the object. Because if you can see a brick on your hand, but then if you put the same brick 5 miles away, you might not be able to see that brick, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, what you really should be talking about in the two previous images that you provided, if you look at the round example,
Right.
what you should be talking about is the tree being obscured by a hump of physical earth in between it, right?
Right.
So meaning that guy at a lower elevation is not seeing the tree because of a physical earth hump that is obscuring that tree, right?
Right.
So we've gone out and tested this, and we don't find any hump of earth when it comes to observations specifically over water, because we know water's always flat and level, right?
Okay.
So that would take out any deviation for large hills and valleys and things like that, because water is always going to be level.
Now, because the Earth is so big, right? Let's just say round Earth was real, right? Like,
Earth isn't that big because we got a radius, Nubrak. They told us in numbers.
okay, right.
That's the
But in perspective to us, the Earth is pretty big, right?
Still no, because
No,
over
not really.
over 10 miles, there would be 66 feet of curvature drop. Do you think it's impossible to measure 10 miles and actually figure out if there are 66 feet of curvature drop? Would that be impossible for a human?
No.
Because these are the stories you have been told, right? You're just a little ant on this gigantic ball. You will never see curvature because you're so small. That's untrue. They gave you this number, the radius, 3959. With that number, you can then calculate curvature drop over distance and actually go measure the darn thing, right? So you're not too small.
I don't know. I
just a
feel pretty
story they
small when
told
like I'm walking from like one state to the next state, and it takes me like a day.
Yeah, but 10 miles should be 66 feet of curvature drop, which has never been measured.
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about the globe model providing dimensions, is we can do the math and we can figure out a rate of drop over distance, right? It's pretty simple.
Oh,
And
to depict the curve, you're saying?
Right,
And you're just not seeing that? You're saying that the Earth should be dropping every 10 miles by 66 feet?
The model necessitates that. It's not that we're claiming that. That's what the model, the math, the geometry, the trigonometry actually necessitates.
And it's exponential.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what most people don't understand, is when you're looking out over distance, the drop rate is exponential, meaning it increases very quickly.
Wouldn't it say
And
stay the same if it's round?
no, that would be a slope. It's an exponential drop. I'm sure some drop the Earth curve calculator. Oh, it's already in there. The diagram. So if you see the picture that has the globe, and then it gives you all the figures.
Right.
So that's just based off of the radius value that we're given. And you can use that to go out and test whether that's what you actually see in reality or not. I've personally done an observation over 17 miles.
Right, but there are hills and stuff, right? Like there are
over. So my observation was over water. It was across Tampa Bay. Actually, not across, but down Tampa Bay. To a bridge. To a bridge, an object at a known distance. And based on the math, I shouldn't be able to see the pylons and the lower levels of the bridge, because the bridge starts at a low level and then it goes really high so that cruise ships can go underneath it. But I was able to see the lower level of the bridge and the pylons below it. So if you do the math on 17 miles, 3-foot observer height,
So I don't know. This has me thinking like, okay. So we know light's coming from the sky, right? Like the sun, whatever the sun is, right? It's giving us this light and this energy, right?
Correct.
And it is in a it's sort of like what is it? A flashlight beam almost over certain areas of the earth. Is that what?
Yeah, well, everything we experience is divergent light rays from the source. Right? So when you think of a flashlight, that beam diverges over distance.
Right.
The thing that we don't
out.
know,
Yeah.
the thing that has not been definitively measured is the distance to the sun. So when you're talking about your shadows and the sticks,
right.
What you're leaving out in that assumption, or the assumption that you're taking into account, is that light rays hit the Earth parallel, which is not necessarily what we see in reality. We see divergent light rays, corpuscular rays that go back to the source.
Now, what I'm asking, right? So I'm picturing like a flat surface, right? Like a flat surface, right? And then some of the surface, it's daytime, right? Because in some place in the world, it's daytime, right?
Correct.
And then on the other side, it's dark time, right? Nighttime, right?
Correct.
Now, are you saying if I went high enough on the dark side, would I be able to see the daylight on the day side?
Probably not, because what you have is you're seeing through atmosphere, and over distance, the amount of light can only attenuate through a specific medium at a certain rate, and it's dependent upon distance, on how far that light will push through the atmosphere. So you have an attenuation of light, you have the inverse square law of light. There's many things that come into play.
So you wouldn't necessarily be able to see it.
Correct. Think of it this way, you can see very clearly through panes of glass. But if you stacked up thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pieces of glass, how clearly do you think you'd be able to see through those?
Yeah, probably not too good. Yeah.
Right. So that's what you have to think about when you're dealing with the atmosphere and light, being able to attenuate through it.
So the farther you are away from the light, you're saying, like, even if you were able high enough to see it, you wouldn't see it because of the atmosphere?
It's a possibility. And that's the thing. How high are you going to have to go to be able to see the light if we don't necessarily know the height of the light to begin with?
Well, it's higher than we've ever been, right?
Right.
We
So
know
if we're
that.
only able to go,
So I'm saying,
say we're
what if
only
we
able
went
to
higher?
go 60 miles high,
Like what?
and that light source is, I don't know, somewhere between 4,000, 10,000 miles high.
Right. Like I'm saying, like what if we went higher than the atmosphere? Like we went, into what a lot of people call space, right? Shouldn't we be able to see the beam of light on the other side of the planet?
Also, will be dark because there is an area that is illuminated by the sun that you can see during the day, but then after that there is darkness, so you're gonna have a limitation of view based on the darkness too. Because that point where it's dark against the lighted part,
No,
you won't
I'm
be able.
confused there. I'm confused there. Like I'm saying,
Well,
there's no atmosphere, right? Like all vision is based on how much light basically there is, right? You can't see anything with pure darkness, right? So the light source that we know from the only light source that comes naturally that we know of, I mean, besides like bioluminescence and stuff like that, is the sun, right? And so if I'm 10,000 feet high or higher in a dark nighttime, I should technically be able to see the day light from the day side, right? If the Earth is flat and I'm high enough, there's no atmosphere, right?
So think of it this way. A candle can only be visible at a certain distance because the candle can only throw light a certain distance, right?
So you're saying even with the best
So
telescope and everything, you wouldn't be able to see that candle?
Correct.
Even the telescope has certain optical limitations, right?
No, I mean of course, right? But you're saying the Earth is so big that it's
the issue that you're having is that you're going into a hypothetical. And what if I'm outside the container and I'm looking in? Yeah, you might have the perspective of God, but who knows how that looks?
And sometimes these hypotheticals are hard to deal with because what you take out of the equation many times is perspective, and you go to an orthogonal viewpoint. So lots of times people get fooled with different viewpoints of how things should or should not work. And they'll switch between an orthogonal view, which would be an outside third view from like a side vantage point, to what you would actually see when you see with your eyes and your eyes see in perspective. So that's one thing to watch out for, is the switch between what you would see based on perspective and what you would see from what's called an orthogonal viewpoint.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about all that shit.
Well,
Did
it's
you guys-
stuff that we weren't necessarily taught, right? We were just kind of given certain things and told that, and we're told that they were true. And we never really did a thorough investigation on a lot of this stuff, right?
So did you guys go through the Black Swan?
No, I didn't.
No, not yet.
No.
Well, anybody want to do it?
No, you go right ahead.
I have to hit the shower in a bit, but pretty tied up now. But yeah,
I can do it real quick if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So if you look at the live stream voice text at 54 minutes after the hour, Donato posted a bunch of images, one of which was the Earth curve rate that I was telling you about.
Right.
You see that with the globe? So you see the image directly below that?
Yep.
Okay. So if you pull that up,
Is it the one with the ships?
yeah, they're actually oil rigs,
Okay, yeah.
right? So these oil rigs are off the coast of California.
Okay.
And this image that is taken is actually from a video. So you can see the video and kind of confirm this.
Okay.
But if we look at it, it's what's called a Modus Tollens argument, right? And a Modus Tollens argument is if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. So if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, which is Q.
Okay.
So not Q, therefore not P. So if we look at the image below, we see two oil platforms. If you look at that image, where would you say the horizon falls within that image? In front of the oil rigs, in the middle of the oil rigs, behind the oil rigs?
Looks like it's gonna set or rising behind it.
Right. So it's pretty safe to say that the horizon in this image is beyond the second oil rig, which is the second oil rig is at 9.41 miles. So would it be safe to say that the horizon is about 10 miles away, give or take?
Why would I say the horizon's 10 miles?
So the known distance to these oil rigs is written below them, right?
Right, they're 3 miles apart roughly.
Right. So the distance from where the observer is to these oil rigs, the first one is 6.21 miles.
Right.
The second one, platform habitat, is 9.41 miles.
Okay.
So we said earlier that the horizon in this image is past platform habitat, right?
Okay.
So it's safe to say that the horizon is 10 miles away in this image.
At least, yes.
Okay. So this image was taken 1 foot off the ground, off the sea level, on a beach in California.
Okay.
And the Modus Tollens argument that we talked about previously, the one that's written right above, if the Earth has a radius of 3,959 miles, the horizon distance can be no more than 1.225 miles at 1 foot observer height. So right here we have 1 foot observer height with a horizon at or past 10 miles. So going back to the if P then Q, not Q then not P. So in this observation, we see a horizon that is not 1.225 miles away. Therefore, the Earth is not a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles.
What about like taking into account like atmosphere, like light refraction?
Refraction does not increase the horizon's distance. Because what we're talking about is a physical obstruction of the Earth, obstructing our viewpoint. We know that the horizon is in apparent position, meaning that the horizon can appear to be in different places based on atmospheric conditions. The globe model necessitates a geometric horizon at 1.225 miles away, meaning a physical blockage of anything past 1.225 miles.
So is this the swan theory or?
So this is what we call the black swan. And do you understand what that is? That's kind of like saying all swans are white. Now, is that a true statement?
I mean, in the world or in a certain location? I mean, like, depends, right?
So if you were in a little village and you had swans in your village and all the swans were white, for generations, that village could claim that all swans are white.
Yep.
And that might hold true within your village until somebody finds a swan that's black. And then that what you thought was true previously, that all swans are white, has been disproven by finding a black swan.
Oh, okay.
So this is what we call a black swan observation, meaning this disproves what everybody thinks as the radius of the Earth. Now, there's many observations like this. Many. This is just one that we use as an example because we have a good video for it.
Oh, you have a good.
The observation that I made was a black swan as well. Did it personally, saw it with my own eyes, right? So do you understand that the globe model necessitates a geometric horizon that obscures objects behind it? And we're given the math for that, so we know how much should be hidden at specific distances. And when we go out to test that, it doesn't comport to what the claim is.
Now,
So not Q,
what if their
therefore
numbers
not
were
P.
off?
Well,
So-
that's the thing. Do you know of anybody in history who has measured the radius of the Earth? If so, who was it, and how did they do it?
I'm not. My history isn't my hot point.
So you know what would be the radius of the Earth if the horizon would be at 10 miles, and that's where the curves start. It'll be 264,000 miles. That's the radius.
Right. Further than the claimed distance to the moon would be just the radius of the Earth. And then so my thing that I always like to say is that the radius value of the Earth is the linchpin of everything that comes after it. In order to calculate orbital mechanics, you need the radius value. In order to calculate trajectories for rockets going into space, allegedly, you're going to need the radius value. Everything is dependent upon the radius. And the amount of people that come in here and we talk to, I have yet to talk with one person who knows who has measured the radius, when they measured the radius, or how they measured the radius. But that one figure is necessary for everything that follows afterwards. So really discussing anything past the radius value is a moot point. Does that make sense?
A little bit. A little bit.
So do you find it interesting that we were given all of these things in school and we're told everything, but we were never actually involved in any experimentation or measurement
Well,
to
I mean,
prove any of these
yeah.
claims?
I mean, not everyone's gonna go or measure the Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Well, who did? That's the question in hand.
Yeah, some guy must have either flew or took a boat or walked somehow with land side to side. I don't know.
Right. So then that's just a belief, then, right? So you won't have any kind of this is a so-called story that nobody's ever known, but we believe it's true because that's what they told us all our life, right?
So like right, I know like around like we have GPS, right? And we have Google Maps and Google Earth, right?
Okay.
So like you take a city, you zoom out a little bit, you take a picture of it, right? How does every point on the Earth just somehow all magically connect like it's a globe on Google Earth?
So they stitch that all together, right? So you can use Cartesian coordinate systems. You can map everything out. That's why when you look at maps, they're called projections. There's various different projections of map data. You can take measurements of something that's completely flat and wrap it around or project it around any type of object you want to. And for all intents and purposes, you can use whatever object you've mapped that around. You can use that as an interface or a visualization of how you're navigating. It's completely irrelevant.
So Google Earth is all fucking a lie then.
Google Earth doesn't show you a globe. It shows you what we see in reality until you zoom out. Then it switches to what we see as the globe. But what you think is happening is not what's happening. Like the man said, all of this stuff is mapped out using Cartesian coordinates, which is a grid system for not spherical geometry. That's for sure. Do you understand that?
Well, I
Do you
get.
know what Cartesian coordinates are?
Well, explain it to me just so I'm on the same page as you.
Longitude and latitude
Okay.
relationships.
Okay.
So the relationship between one line or box and another
Right.
on a planar system, aka a plane, a grid. So superimposing it onto whatever shape they want, globe included, that's kind of secondary and irrelevant. It's something you could do, but it's something that's not necessary. Now, if it's something you could do, but something that's not necessary, what does that tell you?
Something you could do that isn't necessary?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. What does it tell me?
Well, if it's not necessary, then how could it mirror reality? If it's not necessary, if you don't need what's proposed to be reality to navigate, then how could that be a reality?
My mind is being blown right now.
Oh, bro,
just
this is
saying.
the beginning.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
further
you're really
you
gonna enjoy this.
yeah, the further you zoom out on something like Google Earth, all it's doing is warping that grid system around an object. But when you're actually navigating using something like Google Maps, it's flat surface.
Look up the elevation profile. It's flat. There's no drop over distance.
Yeah, I want to say one of the coders from Google basically blew the whistle on that. He came out and admitted that they're just warping it around the ball. But I haven't necessarily confirmed that, so. Are you familiar with Robert Simon?
No.
So Robert Simon is a visual, I can't remember his exact title, data visualizer for NASA. And he came up with and created what's called the blue marble. Do you remember when the iPhones first came out? Do you remember the default home screen?
Right, it was like the blue, right.
The blue
Earth,
marble.
Right.
Yeah, so that guy was interviewed, and he talked about how he created that image. What he said he took high altitude photographs, strips of high altitude photography, stitched them around a ball, and then started to use computer programs to polarize it, add in clouds, put a specular highlight on it, all of that. But most people will use that image as proof that we have pictures of Earths from space. But that image was created from completely flat, high altitude pictures and data stitched around a globe. And I think his quote was, he made it to look like what people would expect the Earth to look from space.
It is Photoshop because it has to be.
Direct quote from Robert Simmons. So don't you find it interesting that even NASA claims in the year 2021, almost 2022, that we have no real pictures of Earth from space. We have composite images.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you don't know what to believe nowadays, I guess.
Come back to your senses. That's what you gotta do. That's a very important axiom.
Now,
Come back to reality.
Now, what about like longitude and latitude? Do you guys do flat earthers believe like the Earth is laid out with like a latitude and longitude, like a grid?
Man, we are limited to explore anything.
Now my question is, right, if you were at some longitude point, right, the up and down point on our Earth, right, and you take 2 points, one from like the equator and one from like the, you know, up or down from that point a certain distance, right, and then you were to travel east or west from both of those points, one would go farther than the other in the same, if you were going like 60 miles an hour, right, like it's faster to go from, let's just say, New York to Europe than it is to go from like Central America to Africa, right? Even though it's the same latitude, well, the latitude distance would be bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is why Neil deGrasse Tyson is forced to say the Earth is pear-shaped.
Yeah, because where we have discrepancies is in the south. And we're also not allowed to go that far south when it comes to latitude, based on the Antarctic Treaty. So when you think about latitude lines, they're based off of using the North Star, which has a known GP, right?
Yeah.
Directly below the North Star is what we call the North or the North Pole. And from a top-down viewpoint, those latitude lines are just concentric circles around the North Star. So when you're traveling east to west in long distances, it may feel like you're traveling in a straight line, right?
Right.
But you're actually making corrections to your compass heading based on north. So west if you're traveling west, you would always keep north to your right-hand side. So if north was a center point and you traveled in a circle around north, you could travel in a circle west to east around a northern center point, because your compass would be constantly correcting you as you travel that circle.
But the
Does that make
but the
sense?
compass normally doesn't correct you, though. That's the compass normally doesn't correct you, though. That's the thing, right? Or you're saying it does?
You make corrections based off of a compass heading.
So even though a compass says I'm heading west the whole time, I'm actually changing to go more north?
No, you're continuing west. You can stay at the same latitude from the central northern point. You can stay at a constant latitude, but as you go further in distance,
right,
you're making a correction, meaning you're making a small turn as you go around.
Mm.
And how compass pointing north, or let's say in South Africa?
So that's the interesting thing. There's a thing called declination, meaning how far off you are from your compass heading. And the further south you get, the higher that declination becomes.
Bigger.
Yeah, this is all wild. I want to know what's below that low point on the Earth.
We want to know also.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's a treaty with over 50 some odd countries that have signed what's called the Antarctic Treaty that ensures that people can't freely explore, and there's crazy limitations on what you can do once you get past the 60th south parallel.
But you wonder what the hell they're keeping down there, right?
Think of it this way. If Antarctica had resources on it, what life is sustained in Antarctica?
Not much.
Pretty much zero life, right?
Right.
There's no indigenous plants. There's only visitation from some penguins in the northernmost parts of Antarctica.
Right.
So if there were resources there that could be useful to mankind, wouldn't you say it would be more environmentally friendly to tap into the resources in an environment that sustains basically zero life? Or should we tap into resources in areas in which you can destroy whole entire ecosystems to get those resources? What makes more sense?
Tap into the resources where there's no life, right?
Right. So why is that area that has the potential for resources that we use on a regular basis, why is that off limits for human beings to touch because of environmental reasons when there's no life or ecosystem surrounding it that would, or allegedly no life or ecosystem down there that could be harmed in a way that an ecosystem, in the northern hemisphere could be harmed?
So you're basically saying that they're saying that's a bunch of bullshit because there ain't no fucking life down there. So what are they hiding? Is that what you're saying?
It's all speculation, right?
Yeah.
But when you start to think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense why that would be off limits.
Well, militarily, kind of makes sense because the Antarctic region is, for what we know, they have shared, is the highest elevation point, and from our understanding, it will be like a perimeter around all the other continents. So the military, the controllers, the grapplers will like to have higher elevation and surrounding perimeter around the regions they control.
Bro,
So militarily, it makes sense to control that area.
I just wanted to say this is off topic, but I also thought because I'm starting to get into like conspiracy stuff, so that's why I joined you guys in the first place. I found out that if you rearrange the letters from Delta and Omicron, it spells out media control. Letter for letter. I just wanted to throw that off. I know it's off topic. Yeah, isn't that wild? Isn't that wild?
Yeah, if you do the same thing but remove delta, it means moronic. It's an anagram for moronic.
Yeah,
Yeah, but media control with Delta and Omicron, that's kind of sus.
It's not sus. It's exactly as it should be. They're rubbing it in our faces.
If no one had TVs and watching the media every day, this stuff probably would never happen the way it's happening. So, yeah.
You got to give credit to the fact that we're making a lot of this happen with our intentions, and it sucks, but they're playing on that. They're using our creative energies.
Yeah, like what else are they keeping from us, you know?
Everything.
Just about everything, yep.
Like aliens, Area 51, all that kind of shit, right?
What aliens, man? You cannot. What aliens?
Well,
might as well never say the word alien ever again. It's never going to mean a fucking thing. Trust me.
Or maybe could be alien if he's from another land.
Or from Mexico.
We had Mr. Anderson reading from Manly P. Hall's books, and it was pretty telling. So I would really suggest looking into how the occult works.
But I just wanted to say before we, get off topic. A lot of people focus on numbers and anagrams, and that's all cute and all cool and all. But the problem that we have as a collective is when someone makes a claim, you don't know how to go to the very beginning of that claim and start there. So everybody wants to talk about, oh, this is the this variant is doing this and that's doing that and blah 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 blah. Well, based on what? Based on the narrative and based on the testing that they say they can do. So my first look would be into the test. Well, okay, what is the test designed for? And what exactly is it telling me? You know what happens when you look into that? The guy who invented the test basically calls these people liars. We, as regular boys and girls, us who don't get millions of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars to have any dog in this fight, that's not any of us saying it. It's the person who invented the test to get these. Well, and this is the test they use to get the results that they get, to work the numbers the way they work them and do the things that they do.
Don't forget, Elijah. So this was Carrie Mullis. He died in, I think it was September or August 2019, just before it happened. Right? Carrie Mullis received a Nobel Prize for his invention. And he was the guy that told us this test isn't, this procedure, right? This procedure isn't for showing if anything, right? It's just for replicating stuff. So
These guys
he got
are
a
fucking
Nobel
nuts.
Prize.
I muted this shit. I'll be right back. I have to pee. Holy shit.
Let's focus on Earth.
For all intended purposes, for the reason that they wanted these tests to be working in the first place, it works for the intended purposes. Is to show these results that they put in the news. 1,000 positive, 10,000, 50,000.
Well, the best part is
it's
that
working.
it's not very, very verifiable now, is it? What we deal in here is 100% verifiable. Empirical physical reality. Earth measures flat. It all comes back to that. That's subjective.
Yes. Speaking of my favorite topic, I always bring it up. Here, what do you think about lunar eclipses?
They are.
No,
It's a.
no, no, not you, Jimsy.
What do I think about
What?
lunar eclipses?
No, the
No,
one
not
guy who
you.
Sorry,
hasn't
bro.
talked about it with
Sorry.
us this entire time.
All right, yeah, go ahead. That's what I thought.
No, sure. I'm asking everyone who's talked about it at least 200 times. Yeah, sure. I'm
Actually,
asking y'all.
what do you think?
Okay,
Actually, what do you
jeez.
think about eclipses? What's his name? What was his name? Nubrak. Nubrak, we've been speaking to you. We did touch solar eclipses or something like that earlier, but someone has a question for you. Nubrak. I guess he's busy for you, Elijah. Maybe because you're from New York, he doesn't speak to that kind of people. Nubrak. I tried.
Yeah, I only bring it up because
You're breaking up there, Elijah.
I just bring it up, Elijah, because when you are outside in the sunlight and you look, let's say, through a window into a building, it looks dark, even though if it's someone inside that room and there's illumination in the room, but
have
from the
discovered it.
outside, it looks dark. Have you ever noticed that?
Hold on. First, Elijah, you cut out through the entire thing.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, I was in the elevator. Moving on, guys. Y'all can go
You
ahead.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fired.
Well, now what?
Gladflobe, have you ever noticed that when you're outside, you look through a window, it looks dark inside that room, even though that room might still be illuminated?
Sorry, what is the question?
When you are outside on the street
Uh-huh.
and you see a window on a building or a
Uh-huh.
house,
Uh-huh.
that when you're looking from outside, that window, the inside, it looks dark from your viewpoint. Have you
Yeah.
noticed it?
Yeah, unless like
But
the sun is on the other side of the building or something. But yeah.
yeah, but it's still the room still can be illuminated, but it still looks dark. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have. I'm not
Next
sure what
time
you're
you go
asking.
outside,
Okay.
next time you get out of your house, I know you don't do that too often,
No, I
but
don't.
when you're driving on a sunny day at noon and it's really bright outside, look towards the windows of places. Nothing creepy about that.
Well, no, not really. It depends. I mean, if it's like an apartment building, but
Yeah, you see they look dark, most of them.
so you're saying from the outside, the inside looks dark.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You
Got it. Got it. Yep. I mean, I'd have to agree. I'm not sure what else that means, but if that's the only thing you wanted to say, you got it. That's right. From outside, the inside looks dark.
That's what's going on with the luminaries above.
Oh, I get it now. I get it.
Do you remember
Luminaries.
remember the bubble that I showed you? The bubble?
Oh yeah, the picture you took.
Yeah, and then you see a
Crazy.
crescent light, but it's a light on top of a light. It looks dark. One area of the light looks dark because one light is the
Oh, I
brighter.
see what you're saying. Yeah, dude, I can't look at that picture because I'll spend all day on it. It's in a separate folder from my memes folder because if I see it, I'll just start looking at it for hours. It's such a cool picture.
So when Elijah mentions the moon, we mentioned, the phases of the moon and that stuff. It has something to do with the light having this effect on the light. because then that's an actual
A
effect.
light having an
can
effect
look
on a
dark.
different light?
Yeah, light
Hmm.
can look dark when it's put in contrast with another light.
Oh, right. Okay. Now I get it. That makes sense. That
Yeah,
matches up. That tracks. That's reality.
yeah, and it's demonstrable.
Yeah. Monstrously demonstrable.
Trace is showing the bubble, and someone inverted it. Someone flipped it around, and it looks like Casper the ghost.
I tell you, man, Casper's in there. Yeah. He's right there. Without question. He showed up for the photo shoot.
I saw Casper when someone showed it to me, but the point that I'm always looking at is that crescent light that we can see, and that's an effect that the other four lights in the bubble are having. So we see the lights, and then we see the effects, which is a crescent light, and that's what the moon looks like, and also Venus. Look at Venus when Venus is near the moon.
God bless you. Who's got the hiccups? That's crazy. Dude, I mean, that picture has sparked so much intrigue and further research and learning, and it's just a bubble. I fucking love it. It's like, reminds me of that scene in American Beauty, that really stupid scene about the bag blowing in the wind, and it's like the most profound thing this fucking idiot's ever seen. Kind of reminds me of that.
Exactly. So look at the bubble. It's kind of something that we can experience here. You see the light going through the bubble, multiple layers, because it's a double bubble that we're looking at, right? So
I'm not actually looking at it right now, but even just the memory of it alone, it's such an amazing picture that I'm doing something else and I'm thinking about the
that's
bubble.
fine. That's fine. So it's a double bubble. So it has multiple layers. The light is going through multiple layers, two bubbles, and it's having this effect on the light that we can see four colors of the light, and then that light, those four colors of the light, have an effect, and we can see the crescent reflection on the bubble.
So here's one that'll bake your noodle. Is it a prism or a prison?
Something like that. But imagine that at the level above.
Prism or prison?
Imagine those layers happening, but above what we
I
can
see
see
what you
from.
did there.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Gemsy. What about the bubble? Continue. Finish. I fucked it up. Sorry.
So yeah, the what we see in the bubble, right? So now imagine that happening in the layers above with cycles and design in a bigger way. So the lights having these effects, and you can see this very similar. In the bubble is kind of like a downsized, smaller scale, but then you do that above, and the layers above and the lights above have a similar effect.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's like, if you think about it, it's like 3 or 4 different mediums, similar but different mediums that the light is going through and doing all different sorts of stuff, flips and twists.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, Casper, he just, why not? I love him. Who doesn't like Casper? He can show up wherever he wants.
Check out the picture that I posted. That's the shape most people don't see that I've been trying to point out forever. Like, it's not what you think it is. I think it's what I think it is, but of course I don't know shit either. But it's definitely not what you think it is.
What are they saying?
Yeah, that picture is
What
super
are they
interesting,
saying?
Elijah.
Thank you, Drace. Thank you.
What are they saying? I missed it.
Oh, now I gotta turn on the damn screen. Hang on.
What did they ask me about lunar eclipses?
The light is going through mediums above until a focal point that we see from down here we call the sun, and then it's also going through the medium that we are in, and it will have effects the way we see it.
That's crazy. Hold on. Where did Elijah post? Oh, there it is. Got it. Latvia. Looks like a candlelight. Looks like Sauron, dude, from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Think about the coincidence that during the new moon that we cannot see the moon. It gets to that point where the sun is being blocked by a shadow, but it's a light, a dimmer light passing in front of the brighter light, or a reflection of it, you know? I think that's actually what's going on. Is the sun going through the layers, and one of the layers is being imposed on top of the other layer. The layer that we see down here, the sun. That's why it looks like a shadow, because it kind of like cancels itself. And it could be the moon. I mentioned it's probably no coincidence that the moon is a new moon. You cannot see it. But even though it could be like a left and a right arm, it's basically equal opposites. And yesterday, you guys know that the moon that we are looking in this night times, this like it looked like a full moon, I think, yesterday, right? If anybody was looking at it. So in 6 months from now, the sun will be at the same position that the moon was last night. You got that? Flat.
What?
The moon that we had last night.
Oh, I didn't see it.
All right, so we had like a full moon.
Oh.
Last night or the night before.
Okay.
So
that would make sense. Sorry,
that position that the moon was last night. 6 months from now, the sun will be on that exact same spot. 6 months from now.
Yeah, that's true.
So think about a left and right arm. Extend your arms, right? And now do a 180
What's up, Tax?
Turn. And the hand that was on one side now is on the
I got
other.
to work out, so
what
I'll
the
probably
other
do
hand
League
was.
later.
Yep.
Hey, so I've got something that has just popped into my mind that I want to express before it leaves my mind. So, kind of how you were talking, Jimsy, about the different lights coming in, right? So you have your double bubble and you're getting a different image, right? Onto the bubble.
Yep.
That crescent. So I'm sure everybody's probably used a camera once or twice in their life and has seen lens flare, right? Because you have multiple lenses within a camera
I'm
lens.
muted right now, but this
and you
is
can
wild.
get a lens flare, right?
Yeah,
This
let's
is wild.
be familiar with that.
Right. So when you're shooting and you're pointing kind of directly at the sun, you might get a lens flare off to the right. And as you kind of move that lens
So if I
around
win a roaming team on
and
the
change
next
the
50,
position
I
of the
get 50
sun
bucks.
as it's hitting that lens
It's not
flare
worth
is going
it.
to move around, right? It's going to
I'll
get
play
either
one
closer
game,
to the sun, further away to the sun, maybe up or down. It
Yeah.
can move in a direction. So as I'm thinking about what you were talking about and the sun and the moon, I'm thinking of a possibility of those two things being from the same source. And instead of us being the objects that are moving to show the different distortions, there's an object outside of this lens.
I couldn't do that anymore. I had to disconnect. That was the wildest shit I've ever fucking experienced. I just wanted to agree with a lot of their shit to fucking see if they like, because otherwise they're gonna kick me, bro.